Bamford goes towards goal. Oh, well, the goal up by leans back and says, team lifter.
A round of congratulations to Port Adelaide, the 1998 SANFL Grand Final winners.
Well, Sturt believes that that was the one grand final that got away from them. But of course, they won the premiership last year, and in some way that makes up for it. It's the Maggies against Sturt this afternoon here at the Unley Oval. Hello everyone and welcome on what is pretty much a warm and overcast day here at Unley, and a match to really savour, something to really look forward on a day of emotion here at Unley. It's Sturt against the Maggies, and Tim, you were there 7 times in a premiership for the Maggies, and something to look forward to this afternoon.
Yeah, it was a long time between drinks for the Sturt Footy Club, 26 years, and it was a great win and well deserved.
And of course, as I mentioned, now it's 6 months since the tragedy of Bali, and it's 6 months of emotion for Sturt that has been in some ways remembered this afternoon. The Balinese community, the Unley Council and the Sturt Football Club unveiling some memories and some plaques this afternoon.
There's some fantastic emotional moments here this morning, and the Sturt Footy Club taking it in a stride, trying to handle it as best they can.
You see the change rooms being dedicated to Bob Marshall, who along with Josh Deegan died in the Bali bombing. We see there 2 of the legends of the football club, Peter Motley and Len Fitzgerald, bringing out the Thomas Seymour Hill Cup from last year.
Yeah, it was a fantastic gesture. I think they named the reserves medal after Josh Deegan and the rooms after Bob Marshall, and these 2 fellas bringing out the cup. Some very emotional moments here for the Sturt Footy Club.
And of course an opportunity to celebrate the premiership with the unfurling of the premiership flag. There was a band, there was pomp and ceremony, a lot of old Sturt faithful here this afternoon at the Unley Oval, and Peter Motley, who tragically through a car accident denied an opportunity perhaps to play in a Sturt premiership, and Len Fitzgerald, a former captain of the club. And here as we see the unveiling of the flag, memories of the eras of the Sturt Football Club premiers.
It's an excellent moment, isn't it? The unveiling of the flag. They've done pretty well, the Sturt Footy Club, to keep their flags. And Greg Phillips' house looks like the United Nations. There's that many down at his joint, but they've done well. They've kept their flag and unveiled it here today in a really good ceremony.
So it was something to enjoy, and Mark Soderstrom will be out in the middle in a moment, and he'll have some special guests with him. But just for while we're waiting for Mark to take up his position, something that really will be hard for Sturt this afternoon, to control emotions. Yeah,
for the coach, Brenton Phillips, it's been a really probably tough pre-season for him to try and get inside these players' minds. And today, here back at home, in the ceremonies that have been taking place this morning, it's one, how do you use that emotion, and also how do you control it? Because sometimes it can get the better of you, and your focus may go elsewhere. So a very difficult time for the players. Well,
look, you've been there, not in this situation exactly, but trying to control the emotion. I mean, it's obviously very difficult. Yeah, different circumstances, but in '88, Anthony Williams was killed the night before a game, and you know, the whole Williams family, of course, devastated by that loss, and we had to play the very next day, and it was very, very hard. I know what it's like to try and control that, but try and use it as well, and it took us at least 3 quarters to settle down. Yes, and earlier the Sturt Footy Club coming on to the ground, and of course rapturous applause from the faithful. We haven't seen a banner like that since the 80s, I would have thought. It's a fantastic banner for a first home game, and look, it's been a very well organised unit at the Sturt Footy Club, and you know, they've done some fantastic things to try and just help ride this wave of emotion. And I must say, yes, we haven't seen a banner that size. I mean, not with SANFL premiers in relation to the Double Blues, of course. 1976 was their last premiership. Before the one last year. Well, Mark Soderstrom's ready. He's in the centre square with some special guests.
Well, thank you, Neil, and a very big day for the Sturt Football Club, as we have heard. I'm with the wife of Bob Marshall, Val, and 4 grandchildren, Lauren, Amy, Jack and Sam. Val, you looking forward to cheer the Blues onto a big win today?
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I'll tell you what, Bob will really be plugging for him.
And Lauren, with the cheerleaders early before, just some fantastic flips. Well done.
I thought he was really good. I was really nervous too.
Well done, Lauren. So fantastic. Val, we'll just get you to toss the coin with the captains here, Braden Lyle and Seamus Maloney. Braden, your call. Braden's called heads. Tails it is. So Sturt will be kicking to the right of screen, to the southern end. And back up to you, Neil.
Thanks for that, Mark. Well, obviously, an appropriate win of the toss by the Sturt Football Club.
Yeah, it was a good toss. I always called heads as well, so maybe Braden's picked that up off of me, but doesn't matter about the toss. The first quarter is always an important one.
It is. A little while earlier, Mark actually spoke to the Sturt president, Steve Chapman, asking him just about the Bali tragedy in the last 6 months and how the football club's gone about controlling the emotion.
Yeah, Mark, over the last 6 months, the club's certainly engaged in a process early on in the piece in particular of organising some counselling for the players. And I guess with things like best and fairest presentations last November, where we named the Reserves Medal after Josh, and again today, where there was the official launch of the Bali Memorial Garden, all of those things I think have contributed towards recognising what happened, but helping in the healing process and hopefully, as of today, putting it behind us. But I think bottom line is that probably most of the actual healing has been done by the players themselves as a result of the strong camaraderie and feeling they've got amongst themselves as a group.
Yes, obviously a lot of camaraderie between premiership players at the best of times. When things like the Bali tragedy happen, I think it puts everything in perspective. I know that that group of players was really looking forward to get back on the ground and getting an opportunity to let their football do the talking for them.
Well, it's a great way, I suppose, to just dedicate your mind and your focus into something you really love, and very difficult times. And Brenton Phillips would have had his work cut out over the pre-season trying to balance training with, you know, the emotional side of these guys' physical and mental state.
And of course, not all the players went to Bali. Around about 18 players and a couple of officials, or 19 players and Bob Marshall went. And so a little bit different for some of the players compared with some of the ones who were there. And of course, we're going to observe a minute's silence in honour of Josh Deegan and Bob Marshall. So stand by for that. Well, Tim, you just wonder how this football club can put all that emotion aside and go on to win. But, gee, on paper, they still have a very, very good squad of players.
Certainly have, haven't they? And all the experience, as well as some new guys coming into it. It looks pretty healthy, doesn't it, on paper? They've already won one game this season. They had a bye and looking good for another good year.
And on the other side of the card, Port Adelaide has not started the season well. On paper, you look at their squad and you say, why not?
Yeah, and I've been asking the question of that myself, and probably because there's, probably 5 to 6 guys that haven't played football together, and it takes a while to settle down, and it's a good lineup on paper today. Again, some new players come into it. Kingsley for his first game with the Magpies, Michael Wilson, guys that haven't played with one another. It'll be interesting to see how they all settle down.
And just a look at the reserve score, how tight's that? A kick after the siren from Ben Cook at goal for Port Adelaide. Was a minor score, resulted in a draw and bad kicking, I guess, but at the end of the day, a draw and quite befitting, I guess, the moment.
Well, let's see. Let's hope it's a good tight clash this afternoon as well in the A grade.
Oh, we look at that. Norwood on top by virtue of last night's victory. They beat North Adelaide in the first action of round 3 at least by 24 points. So top v bottom, and North Adelaide very disappointing to start with. We see Sturt in third position, Port unfamiliar territory.
Yeah, and they need a win, don't they? And this will be a hard one for them at Unley today, but hey, what better moment to do it than now?
Yes, indeed. Of course, that would be one way to spoil the party, wouldn't it? The players just about ready to go. We're just awaiting the first centre bounce of this action at what would be considered in local football a boutique oval. It's the first quarter from the Unley Oval, and your caller first up will be Michael Maney.
Round 3 SANFL action. Plenty of emotion in this ground. You can tell by the effects microphone. It is certainly going to be a very loud day. Umpire holds ball aloft. Parry up against Conway, one of the best in the business. Sturt v the Magpies. Ball hits the deck. No one can take clean possession, and the umpire's no choice but to come in and have another bounce. That bounce of the ball going very, very high in the middle. Not too far distant from cricket finishing here in Adelaide. The restart. Parry just gets a double fister on it. Over the back, Sheedy knocked it down. They run onto the footy. Who can grab it? Good tackle in there. The umpire says the ball was locked up. Give it to me. Adam Kingsley getting amongst it there, back from Port Adelaide Power. Adam Kingsley is coming back from injury. There's the Sturt bench.
Boys on the bench there for Sturt: Aaron Bishop, Matthew Powell and Stuart Graham.
Parry once again in his hands on the footy. Oh, Wilson with a crude kick. O'Loughlin. At the bottom of that pack is Tim Weatherall, and round the neck I thought maybe against Wilson. That's James Wilson against Tim Weatherall, but no free kick.
Boys, during the reserves game, we did notice that the wind was reasonably strong, favouring the southern end to the right of screen. At the moment, the wind has died down, so it shouldn't factor too much. We've got an expected top today of 27 degrees. It's going to be mild.
Feast at the back. Away goes Wicks. Long kick inside 50. Target will be White. Ball over the back. Who can take it? Fegut's there for the Magpies. Wants to kick it round the corner. Brett Ebert, son of Russell, goes to the boundary. Just slips the tackle. Well played. Kept the feet in the end. Goes with a long probing kick down the line. Maloney is in best position, can't take the mark. Spills over the back. Miller's there. Miller just paddles it forward. Can he pick it up? No. Gets a back heel to it. McDowell for the Magpies. Good enough to get the handball to Benke. Benke's tackled by Wicks. No free kick. Over the top goes Miller. Very acrobatic by Harry Miller. The ball will be thrown back in.
Well, it's good tough stuff in close so far, and everybody pretty willing to get onto the bottom of the packs and get the hard footy, so good opening.
So down Port Adelaide's end of the ground, Sturt work it through handball, as is their style. They clear it sort of out of sight of their defensive 50 area. Xavier Campbell just can't get a boot to ball. Coming from behind Matner, spent time this season already with the Crows. Lovely kick off the right foot. Weatherall breaks inside 50, looking for Feast. Feast at least will kick inside 50. On the lead comes Chambers. Chambers out in front of him. Coriachi, the state fullback, is beaten. Good mark. Umpire has paid it. No, he hasn't. What did you think, Tim?
Yeah, actually, if you look at the replay, you'll see Coriachi has a good deal of this.
Man in front, maybe?
Well, I thought Brian Chambers had a good deal of it early anyway. So the ball thrown up on the pocket near the Sturt Bowling Club. It's off to Nelson. Nelson from one step lobs it up in front of the marking targets, and coming from the side was Chambers. Almost took it. Braden Lyle couldn't handle it in the end. Rushed through.
He's a great player to watch, Grant Chambers. I love the way he attacks the football. He's an aggressive forward, which is something you can't buy in footy. I just love aggressive forwards, and he's one of them, and he attacks the ball hard. And he's one of those guys that will have a go at anything. You saw the way he launched himself with that ball. He just loves it.
Yes, doesn't mind a challenge, Grant Chambers.
Boys on the bench for Port Adelaide, we have Simon Piker, Lucas White and Alf Steed.
Kingsley for Port Adelaide comes out of half back, I should say. Short kick, finds Wilson. That's James Wilson. Gets it to Eilert. Eilert looking for Benke. Ball spills over the back. McDowell couldn't get it. Taken by Sheedy. Offloads. Away they go through Howman. Cooper got it back to Sheedy. Now Sheedy can have a run here. Runs his full measure. Kicks long. Could have been better to White. And Fegat takes the mark just in front of the big number 19. So delivery not quite spot on from Jay Sheedy as Fegat goes to the outer side of the ground. This is a dangerous kick. Up they go. They couldn't take the mark. Picked up by Matner. Matner's got a man inside in Nelson. Feigns the handball. Goes for goal. Good-looking kick by Matner. I think he's popped it through. Well, Weatherall, is it? Great kick by Timmy Weatherall. And it's a goal. First on the board to the Sturt boys.
It was always going to be dangerous, that kick from Nigel Feagit. Right into the teeth of the breeze, basically. It was going to hold up. And good roving there by Timmy Weatherall. Always around the packs where he should be, always around the play. And, you know, it really didn't give Matthew Smith much of a chance, that kick. And give it a player of Timmy Weatherall's capabilities, and you're always going to get a goal, I reckon.
Weatherall, of course, Magarey medalist last season. Prolific possession winner in the middle of the ground. Here's another Magarey medalist in the lineup. Damien Squire taken down for Sturt. Number 24 there, getting his way to his feet. Lots of double blues fans here this afternoon, as you'd expect. Premiership flag unfurled. The wind even affecting the bounce. That one went slightly towards Sturt end of the ground, which is the way the breeze is favouring. That'll be a free kick. And eventually up will get Cooper to take the free kick, and he'll get 25 as well. So a little bit of treatment there from O'Loughlin. I didn't appreciate it. I guess neither did Cooper.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Was it the treatment or was it the actual kick after the free kick was given? Braden Lowell continued with kicking the ball.
Well, he's getting 50, so yeah, whatever it was, the umpire wasn't happy with it.
He's doubled it up, hasn't he? Umpire Fox.
You're kicking against a slight breeze. Just cannot do that.
It's going to be very costly because this is a certain goal to Matthew Cooper.
So Cooper kicks the goal. And the Sturt Football Club well on top very early on what is such an emotional day for the whole club.
Well, it was important to them to get early goals. I can imagine Sticks Phillips saying, listen, let's get a couple of goals and just settle this whole day down. And it was a very clumsy tackle by Ricky O'Loughlin. Just fell into the back of Cooper, which was definitely a free kick, and obviously might have just put his head into the turf and said, eat a bit more of it. And umpire wasn't too happy with it, so understandably so, 50 metres.
Boys, just at the start of the game, the breeze had died down, but in the last minute or so, it's picked up, and it is rather strong. In fact, it'd probably be worth a couple of goals to that right end of screen.
Centre square infringement goes to Parry, who sells Ricky O'Loughlin into all sorts of trouble. Umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. Kick off the ground. Parry back in there. In goes Nelson. Wants the handball. Oh, McDowell very heavy on Weatherall. Too high. He didn't agree with it. Crowd thought it was all right. Timmy Weatherall to kick the first of the afternoon. Goes the long kick. Won't quite get inside 50. The target's Feast. Oh, good mark out in front of his face, Simon Feast. Not wearing the knee bandage today. Very strong hand, Simon Feast. Short kick. Chambers was the target. Lyle. They just work it out of the back. Michael Wilson. Great to see him back. And the kick was a perfect one to Benke, who's a long way up from half forward in front of Howman. Goes down the line. Good lead. And the mark has been taken by Plapp. Plapp squares it up. Good kick. Marked by Clayton. Clayton dishes off to Lyle. Lyle, short kick chopped off. This defence is pretty hard. Ranked #1 in the league as Whiteman takes it for the Double Blues.
And immediately they break to the far side of the ground. Campbell, good on either side. That one was pretty much perfect. Got it out in front of Cooper. Waits for it. Plenty of time. Nobody in front of him. He can go towards 50. Cooper from 55 with the aid of the breeze. A goal to Sturt. No. But awfully close, Tim.
Was a good leg, wasn't it? I think he was hoping that that was going to fade back for his second, but just stayed at the near side and registered it behind. So just laid a bit of breathing space, but it's been all Sturt. They're getting in hard and winning that first footy and earning free kicks.
1 goal, 1 to Matty Cooper. Kick by Funk, looking for Feagit. Outer side of the ground. Wilson. O'Loughlin. They need plenty out of him. 32 possessions last week. Feagit wants to go short and finds Kingsley at half-back. Kingsley lays it off to Wilson. Decides to have a bounce, puts the pedal down. Ran a bit far for mine, but anyway, long kick inside 50. Looking for Plapp, is it? And he takes the mark. Or is that McDowell? It is McDowell. And McDowell's got it at half-forward.
That was good play by Michael Wilson. Saw that nobody was coming towards him, so really accelerated through the middle. Just got another 10 metres on the kick, which went over a line. And McDowell was good enough to hold his head up high and take the mark.
Nathan McDowell, just 22 years of age. Kicked a few goals, 23 in his career. From 45, good-looking kick, goal umpire. He doesn't give us anything to go on here. That's a goal. First goal on the board to Port Adelaide at the 9-minute mark of the first term. Good kick from there from 45, McDowell.
Normally a good giveaway, isn't it, when the umpire doesn't give you much behind the goals? They normally grab their chest one side or the other, but good play here by Wilson. As you watch, now he realises nobody's coming to him, really accelerates and drops it another 10 metres on his kick. Good work by McDowell, backing back, taking his kick. Now, he's a goal kicker, and he took his time on this one, and he did the right thing, and that's a valuable goal into the breeze.
Sturt by 8 points. Ball down in the middle. Lyle, first position, just off the side of the boot, and now Wilson swamped. James Wilson. James and Michael playing for the first time in league side for the Maggies.
And Neil, a good birthday present for their mum, who turns 50 tomorrow, having both the boys played today.
Jeez, you have been busy down there, Sodas.
The lovely Regina.
So Lachlan breaking from the centre. His pass was perfect. Platt comes on the lead, looks around. Umpire calls play on. Mattner tries to shut him down. Platt around Mattner. Oh, and then smothered well done by the Sturt defence. That was Whiteman who smothered it. Now Mattner breaks on his left leg, far side of the ground. Plenty of distance in that. Must have been 60 metres. Feagert comes to meet it. The Maggies will maybe have an opportunity. No, they can't clear the area. Now Feast, they work it through their hands again. Weatherall put his player under pressure. Kurt Roberts-Thompson, and Weatherall was held late and dumped by Feagert. It'll be a free kick.
Just got to be careful giving too many free kicks away. Sturt taking advantage of it so far.
Roberts-Thompson, oh, daisy cutter, and could not be more perfect on the lead, Chambers.
They did well, Sturt. Kept that 45 from goal open. The keyway, as they call it, and Brian Chambers could lead straight up the middle, and with a pass like that, Corey Archie or nobody could have much chance.
Now, you wouldn't think distance would be a worry for Chambers, but let me tell you, accuracy might be.
The unpredictability.
Hasn't been too bad this year.
No, I think he has improved in the off-season, Michael, but yeah, very much 50-50 last year. So Brian Chambers lining up for Sturt's third, and wait on the umpire. He's happy with it. The umpire's happy with it. Sturt has another goal on the board. 3-2, plays 1 goal.
Well, that's what a good full forward does.
Boys, just as that goal was kicked, we can see Seamus Maloney's come off the ground, Matthew Powell on.
It was very well delivered, kept his head over the footy, never in doubt. The umpire didn't move too much behind the goals. The goal umpire can, showing how easily that one went through.
Another goal to Brian Chambers. So Sturt, you'd say, in control of this game at the moment. Conway out of the centre. Roberts-Thompson taken by O'Loughlin. Handball slick over the top. Wilson just knocked it to the advantage of Kingsley. He got it back from Kingsley. So they work it around the skipper, Braden Lyle. Bit of heavy work off the ball. Lyle's short kick finds O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin kicks just inside 50. Early leak by Platt. Miller couldn't quite take it with him. Platt got a push in the back. It's against Marty Mattner. So Justin Platt. There's Seamus Maloney off early. So get an update from Mark in a moment on what's happening there. The kick by Platt is a good ball. Parry's getting back in front, couldn't quite complete it. Wicks working hard. Howman, they take it away through Sheedy. Sheedy's loose handball, chance for Port Adelaide. Taken by the big man in Conway. Oh, Weatherall, I thought he might have dropped it, but good play, good umpiring. No, he's going to get a free kick, Timmy Weatherall, for holding the man.
Yeah, just a bit of experience, Tim. The tackle went there and he'd already disposed of it. He knew he was under pressure.
Yeah, good decision. Weatherall down the lines. Feast in front. Feagert knocks it down. Beveridge front and square. Great bit of roving. Beveridge kicks long. The kick just off the instep a little bit. Archie leads in the race. Smith's there. Taken by Nelson. Free kick will come back and will go to Smith for a push.
Yeah, almost identical to the Weatherall free kick there. So,
Boy, Seamus Maloney has just returned to the ground after a rather delicate change of his uniform.
Right, well, he's involved in this play now. Just a bit of a shove in the back for McDowell. So Port will go forward. High ball inside 50. Evans the target. Falling back was Howman. Almost took it for Sturt. He's still over the ball. Well roved in the end. Shot around the corner is out on the full. And that was Miller. Just well astray with that kick.
it just didn't really have a choice. I think he had to have a shot because there was nobody in the square that he could set it up to, so had to have a shot, but just didn't get enough curl on it.
Xavier Campbell to bring the ball back into play for Sturt. 20 plays 6. almost 15 minutes into the first term. Conway brought it to ground, and Seamus Maloney. What did you describe, Sodas? A subtle change of uniform or
a rather delicate change of uniform? Change. I think I'll leave it right there.
There's a man who could do with a change of uniform, I would have thought. As the ball comes down. Oh, Weatherall, crunch! Oh, holding the ball. Well, he turned right into trouble, and Braden Lyle said, thank you very much. A little bit of tate-a-tate off the ball involving O'Loughlin there, but, oh, wrong way, go back, Tim.
Yeah, he went forward and then turned back, so I suppose the umpire judged that that was already a previous chance to get rid of it.
Evans couldn't quite complete it. Taken by McDowell. He's kicked one. Oh, pushed off the kick. Good bit of play. Platt tries to get the handball back. They run the ball close to the line. Maloney. Ball jars free. And then they jump on the footy. Gee, she's on for sheep stations up in that pocket.
Well, that's a bit better by the Port forwards, because a lot of the time it's been run out pretty easily by the Sturt defence with desperate work like that, and then they run it out with good hands.
Up they go. Knocked down. Campbell for Sturt. Wayward kick. It's up in the hands of Kingsley. So Kingsley will pump it back in for Port Adelaide. Just having a look. He's going to be put on a tight angle, and I tell you what, boys, that's going to be a pretty damn good kick to kick a goal from there with this swirling breeze.
I don't think he's looking to kick a goal. I think he's looking for something to open up.
He's got some shifty eyes, Tim, isn't he?
It's a little bit crowded down there.
Adam Kingsley from the boundary line. The kick. Mighty close. Woodwork.
Didn't sound like woodwork.
No.
I reckon that might be metal
Aluminium work.
But I tell you what, it wasn't a bad effort in the end. Hit it dead centre.
Sturt bring the ball down this side, and Howman looking to make yards to it. He's going to be shut down, or is he? Oh, Howman did well in the end. The umpire let it go. And ball out of bounds, centre wing, right in the interchange area. Soda could have got a kick then.
Be about the first kick for 4 years, I reckon, nearly, if I did get my boot onto it.
Might have put your back out doing it. So the ball back into play, centre wing. Conway, the big body in front. In the middle of the pack, Sturt. And I think that was Clayton working hard. And O'Loughlin comes in as well. Sheedy was there for Sturt. And then we see Platt coming off the ground. Soda, any problems there?
He looks to be limping. We'll have a quick check on, see how he is. And Simon Piker has just come on to replace Platt.
Up goes Conway in front of Parry. Weatherall, Lyle just wearing him like a glove. No free kick, although they do dive a bit, these the players sometimes, don't they? Well, that's been in the news a little bit, Tim, hasn't it?
Yeah,
taking a dive.
I don't think that was an example of it, but
no, that's right.
Yeah, Braden Lyle wanting to kick very close to Timmy Weatherall, very dangerous player.
Conway just with a backhander. There's the treatment on Platt. There's no short of physicality in this contest in the first quarter. How do you assess Port's first part of this quarter, Tim?
Took them a while to settle down. Sturt certainly opened up the better in the first 10 minutes, but now they've settled down with that goal from Buzz, and that'll get them going.
Wilson, quick hand pass. Kingsley, high ball inside 50. Oh, good mark. He's been good early, Whiteman. Now the ball, Campbell at least. Now they get it onto the far side of the ground. Nelson was the target. Good slap forward. Got to Roberts-Thompson. He was good enough to square it around towards centre-half forward. It's beaten everybody. It's inside 50. Now an opportunity for front. That'll be too high, surely.
A little low, and that was a fantastic tackle, wasn't it? Just that little bit high.
I've got to say, Ross Funk actually looks shorter out there in a Magpie Guernsey compared with what he looked like when he was playing for Richmond. And I think it was Melbourne, wasn't it, that he played for as well?
I thought he was taller too.
Yeah.
But, thought I was taller too. But
you'd wish that kick was a bit, well, larger anyway. Didn't quite get it to where he wanted. Sturt very good at the back so far. Here's Curtis. On this side of the ground, he's got Conway breaking for him. Conway's a left footer, almost shut down. Gets the kick away. Inside 50, feast from behind. One grab, comes to the bottom of the pack. And another opportunity. Well, Wilson just couldn't get his foot to the ball. Sturt, well robbed by O'Loughlin, the pickpocket. O'Loughlin through the middle of the ground. Looks up long. Up for Evans, comes on the lead. Oh, clash of bodies, heavy clash of bodies. A free kick being picked out. No, Sturt with the ball through Maloney. Gee, the game's open for this time of the match. And up towards half forward, Nelson, nice half volley. On the squeeze, around the corner. Brad Chambers can't take the ball. Lyle, and another opportunity for Port to go clear.
Braden Lyle did it a little bit better with a kick. The target was McDowell. He's going to run to the line. James Wilson takes it there. And that breeze sometimes, Tim, does affect the kicking. A little bit of a cross breeze and just affected the boot of Braden Lyle.
Yeah, going into the breeze, you've got to watch the way you drop it. Really get it down low to the boot and punch it in.
Well, Parry's given away a free kick to Conway. O'Loughlin standing there.
Let's have a look at this contest.
Anyway, taken by Cooper. Loads up a long ball. Up goes White. Couple of grabs of the cherry. Didn't really control it. Taken by Michael Wilson. The kick looking for Parry. Can he take the mark? No. O'Loughlin just at his feet. Couldn't grab it. And they dive in after the footy. Parry is a big lumbering type, but I tell you what, he doesn't lack too much in the G&D department.
I think it's around 6'4", so he's not overly tall for a ruckman, but he's 19 years of age. You reckon he doesn't have a dip? Pretty happy with the way he commits himself.
Just a bit too much experience for Conway at the moment. He's just putting his body in front and making Parry work. There's another lovely little deft touch from Conway. Sturt comes clear through Sheedy. That'll go over the back. Question of a bounce, just the wrong side of the post for the Double Blues. Minus score, and 14 points the margin.
Neil, good point you make about Conway there. With the height advantage, Parry does have to get in front, and Conway will beat him every time if he stands in front because he's just got the extra reach.
Well, Justin Platt has rolled his left ankle. Nothing too serious. I think the medical staff expect to see him back on the ground shortly.
Bit of strapping maybe as Funk kicks out to a 2-on-1 contest, but a good mark taken by Brett Ebert. Expecting big things from Ebert. Maybe a 25-metre penalty here just for a little nudge after he'd taken the mark.
I think great commitment from both teams, hasn't it? Some really hard clashes and plenty of courage shown.
Hard, tough stuff. Benke. Good lead, good kick by Ebert. Forced to go wide though, so they need to work this ball back into the corridor, you would think. It's a lead from Evans, but it's into the pocket, so he's going to go a little bit further on to Piker. He flies, but over the back, Xavier Campbell takes a steadying mark for the Double Blues, and he has grown in stature. Xavier Campbell.
They do well down in defence, Sturt. They always seem to have two contesting and other guys sitting down waiting for the crumbs.
Campbell normally sitting down waiting for the crumbs, almost a mark that time. The ball just carried in the breeze. Kingsley did well in a tight space, got clear, and his kick was perfect. Well done. On the leg came Evans. You see there Platt just trying to get the ankle working again, probably testing the strapping, I would have thought, Tim, just running up and down the boundary.
You've got to keep it warm too. If you do intend on coming back on, you've got to keep it warm, because once those things get cold, they really hurt the next day.
Well, Evans really set a task there for Piker. Ball out of bounds on the far side of the ground.
Boys, testing the strapping has worked well because Justin Platt just getting ready to come back on the ground in a moment.
Ball on the port forward line. They could do with him up there right now. And eventually the umpire will come in here. Yes, he does. Settle for a bounce. 3-3-21 plays 1-1-7. Sturt in front. Gone 22 minutes. Opening term here at the Unley Oval.
Sturt have done well to keep their forward line open as well. When you're going with the breeze, you do get a tendency to block it up. Kept their discipline.
Talking about blocking it up, the Sturt back line, they'll block anything up. They'll be good plumbers. Long kick by Curtis. Mark being taken by Funk in front of Damien Squire. I don't think he's had a possession yet, Squire. May have got one. Goes laterally to Platt. The man just on the ground. Good call by Mark Soderstrom. Saw him coming on. Kick by Platt. Is a high ball. Conway wants to go over the back. Couldn't take the mark. Kicked off the ground by Kingsley. Whistle on play. Coming back. It'll be a free kick. It'll go to Roberts-Thompson. So away go the Sturt defence. I think it was for Conway here. A free kick against... Oh, gee, couldn't see who that was.
Parry at the back.
Parry, was it? Funk. Tackle. Squire will get a free kick here, or is it too high? Anyway, umpire goes on with play. Says, oh, the boy's having a bit of a toe-to-toe. Short kick marked by Benke in the pocket. 23 minutes gone, and this is a vital kick. A few minutes out from quarter time, Tim.
Very hard pocket, though. Being a right footer, naturally with the breeze coming across his right side, wants to fade that ball over to the left pocket, so it's a difficult kick.
Plenty of AFL experience, Brian Benke, retired from the Crows this year and will be a permanent for the Port Adelaide Magpies. Lays it up. Goal umpire does an awful lot of work to his left, just one behind.
Well, Brian Benke, with his experience, knew that was what the ball would tend to do naturally, but gave it too much to the right-hand side.
Sturt quickly to Curtis in front of what is a pretty good crowd here at Unley. Of course, this ground during the week is just a normal park. So all the crowd on this side of the ground, the broadcast side, and Nelson breaking hard to this side of the ground. Here's Wicks. Whoa, good pace, great hand pass. Howman now up to Nelson, up in front of goal. It's all targets in again. There again at least. Now it's punched forward. The captain, Maloney, turns the ball around. It'll be marked by Fegan. Last line of defence for Port Adelaide. A couple of players moving for him on this side of the ground. Wilson will take possession with a mark. He's got Parry. He goes for Parry. He'll be shut down, not quite by Wicks. Off to O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin, 3 centre-half forward. They've got a player in space. It's McDowell. They've got Binky there. McDowell shepherded, allowed Binky to come in and take the mark. Evans is on the lead further forward. Sturt managed to get the ball to ground. Now they're in trouble, though. Ebert in a tight space. Good pass. Raffle it. One touched it and then the other. So the umpire calls play on. Port fans didn't like it. I think Tim Ginnivan might agree that that was a good call by the umpire.
That was a good call, no doubt about that. I was laughing at Kingsley's attempt to claim it.
Yeah, McDowell just got in front of him. Now they get in front of each other again. McDowell, or rather Kingsley. Sturt breaking from the back. Beveridge bounced the ball. Somehow it came back to him. The kick wasn't the best. Here's White. Got a good bounce. White looking for a hand pass. The big man shrugs off the tackle. On the left foot from 40 metres. And White has kicked the goal. Not. Second time I've called that. Well done.
Oh, dear. I'm calling the wrong player who kicks a goal, so you're going all right, Neil. Don't you worry about that.
Swung around. Just missing. Great good vision there. Goal umpire Cam, isn't it, eh?
Goal umpire Cam. Don't you hate it?
Never lies.
Of course, I don't think Adam Kingsley would be too happy. That's twice in a minute he's been interfered with by members of his own team trying to mark the ball.
Outsteed the last one, I think. Bit of a mix-up. Archie from half-back. Got a couple on here. O'Loughlin takes the mark, already racking up. He's got Clayton inside. Just dodges round, decides to go outside to Braden Lyle. He runs into a wall. Now to Clayton when it wasn't on. Great tackle. Mopped up by Beveridge. Beveridge will go down the line. The target will be Nelson now. He's just got to wait for it. He takes the mark. Good mark by Ben Nelson in front of Parry. Just looking forward. Feast giving something. Cooper is on at centre-half forward. The ball goes there. Cooper could have taken the mark. Roberts Thompson is. Ball lays off to Cooper. It's got to come back, though. Weatherald had a shot for goal. I think Tim be pretty happy that it's got to come back.
Yeah, it was a bad miss, wasn't it? But I'll get the opportunity to bring that back.
I don't know how long he held on to that for either Roberts Thompson.
It was a little bit close to the mark, wasn't it? But just have a look at the vision here. As it pushes off, they both have a go at it. Very close.
Line ball. Cooper's got it now. Short kick, and he'll kick right from on 50. We know he'll make the distance. He is a thumping left foot kick, Matthew Cooper.
Breeze coming across his left side. He'd want to put it just inside the left-hand post. Let the Breeze do the rest.
Well, kicking with the Breeze is still pretty tricky to get goals as the siren goes for quarter time.
Well, this is the important one, Michael. This is a real important kick.
They do need this, Tim. I think it's about a 4 or 5 goal Breeze for sure, as Cooper will kick from right on 50. Now, he's got under it a bit, and he's pretty much muffed it, missed everything, and gone out of bounds on the full. So, a bad miss there to Matty Cooper. Just seemed to drop the footy and got under it. And at quarter time, Sturt 3-4-22. Port Adelaide 1-2-8 as the Port Adelaide boys just head for the huddles there. A good, fast opening quarter with the football was pretty free and easy, Tim Ginnivan. We'll go to Tim in just a second. Pretty free and easy, Tim.
It was a good quarter of footy, Michael. Thanks very much for that. But look, in the end, Port Adelaide probably be happy with the margin, because I think Sturt could have been 2 or 3 goals further in front. They just probably waylaid a couple of opportunities late in that quarter and would have been disappointed with the end result. But still a good start to the game, and they're certainly committing themselves both sides, and Sturt probably had the better of that term.
You definitely think so, as we look at some of the highlights from the term, and they featured Tim Weatherald quite prominently. We see here, good finish on his left leg.
That was a great finish on his left leg. Just dropped it down and hooked it around on his left and really used the Breeze perfectly.
Just in general, at the back, Sturt were very good. This is Michael Wilson in his comeback game to league football. He'll obviously want to go all the way to the AFL. He's on Port Adelaide's list, of course. He's missed the better part of 2 years.
Yeah, he played a half in the reserves last week and come up okay, and really enthusiastic at the moment. Good kick by McDowell to kick a goal, and the only one that Port Adelaide got for the term.
Yes, well, a disappointing start in many ways for Port, but I guess the Double Blues certainly controlled their emotion.
They did, and they just hit in there really hard. I think Timmy Weatherall really, I think he was the one that set up the whole game, just with his head over the football and winning free kicks at will.
And don't forget, if you want to get your tips in and get all the news from the SANFL, go to our website at abc.net.au/SAFooty. You can have a look at just the team, and it's not a really good site because we're all quite ordinary, and the photos are pretty ordinary as well. But never mind, we are all there. See what I mean?
I just saw those fools in black wigs at the back there. What was going on there?
Yes, and of course, as I said, get your tips in. It's really quite simple to make your selections, and every week the winner of our tipping contest will win a double pass to the grand final. So we're going down now to have a listen to what should be a very happy Double Blues huddle.
You beat them at the contest, and then it's about outworking both forward and defensively. It's about outworking sides when they want to go man on man, when they want to do that sort of stuff. Stay with the pressure at the body. Stay with the pressure, and the second bloke going at the tackle is what the pressure's about, okay? The first one holds him up, the second one hits the tackle and sticks it. Hold him up, the second tackle over the top, hits the tackle and makes it stick. We don't release ball. Do not release ball out of tackle. We hold the situation. We hold at contest all the time. Ruck contest and around the ground contest, we hold firm all the time. Give Sheedy room. Give Cooper room. Give Nelson room. If you're a position player, move away. These blokes are good in-tight players. Make space for them. Let's get some crumbing options off forward, Bevo. A couple of crumbing options off forward. We went in forward a couple of times where we just didn't get enough crumbing options up forward. Okay, let's work squizzes in the same boat. Let's work to the crumbing option. Let's nail a few kicks off that. Other than that, we stay with it. We stay with a structured plan in terms of we run, we give, and we respect everything we do. Run, give, and respect. Everything we do out here today is all about that. It's about having a sole focus, a sole mental application on the job at hand. That's all it is. Nothing greater than that. The job has to be completed. Now the job of the second quarter has to be completed. The first quarter's out the way. The job of the second quarter now has to be completed, and we're at that now. Let's get on. Come on.
Let's go. You can see Brenton Phillips reasonably happy, just urging his team to stick with the team plan of running and supporting his running players, which is really the strength and the key of Sturt, that midfield there. A little early on, he was just urging them to also keep the pressure on Port Adelaide. I think a couple of times where Port Adelaide did get a sniff was because Sturt did take the pressure off their teammates there. So stick to the plan, and I think Brenton Phillips will be a happy man.
Thanks, Sodas. Yeah, I'm sure if they were to stick to the plan, they'd kick a few more goals. And Tim, they've been fairly effective so far, the Double Blues.
Yeah, Weatherall, Chambers and Cooper all with one goal, and McDowell for Port Adelaide with the single, but could have been a few more for Sturt. They did play well in that turn.
And the stats, they make interesting reading. 70 possessions to both sides.
Yeah, and Port Adelaide just slightly more kicks, and that's probably going into a tough breeze. Even though I would have thought they might have ran it up a bit better, went a bit longer with the football, which is their traditional style.
Yeah, the inside 50 is quite interesting. Both sides with 16 entries to their forward 50. Now to Sodas, and he's got Graham Dunstan, the general manager of the Sturt Football Club, with him.
Graham, a reasonable start. Sturt did have the aid of a breeze there. Brenton would be happy with that.
Yeah, he was pleased with the start. He was a bit disappointed we didn't get the crummers to the fall of the ball in the forward line, but certainly we got a lot of possession.
All right, Graham, and Brant Chambers just starting to get a little bit of ball there, working in against the breeze. He's going to be a key player, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. With his speed and his strength, he's certainly going to be an asset this quarter for us, Soda.
Thanks, Graham.
Thanks for that, Sodas. And we see Stephen Williams. He's got a few problems, as we talked about there. 16 entries each, so ball efficiency may be a problem for Port Adelaide.
Recognise the other guy that was walking alongside him there for a minute as well. Brother.
Ah, yes.
Brother Mark, and he'll be busy tonight working out how to beat out Hawthorn. But
I'm thinking walking beside, and I'm thinking, no, he's 10 metres away. No wonder I didn't see him.
But they'd be thinking about, obviously, Michael Wilson and Adam Kingsley in this game, and really wanting them to get through, hopefully okay, 100% ready for the lineup that he needs and the depth that he needs in the club. But Stephen Williams be happy with them both playing today and getting some good touches in the first term.
Well, ready to go with the second term. Here's Michael Maney.
Underway second term, 14 points the difference in favour of the Double Blues. The Magpies will kick to right of screen. Round 3 SANFL football action. Up we go. Jade Sheedy, the unlikely man to get that out. Clayton got it to James Wilson. Wilson on the left leg looking for Plapp. Ball thumped away Inside 50, McDowell somehow through the traffic, got the handball away, picked up by Platt, over the shoulder, high ball. Goal umpire says one behind, so an early score to Port Adelaide. They move their total on to 139. The Double Blues 3-4-22.
Ball to the far side of the ground. Howman set a task, just gets it and then fumbles it over the line. I think that's the past players over there on that side of the ground. And Tim, you would think with the breeze it would certainly suit Port Adelaide just to go long and direct.
Only danger is if you don't score early, as Sturt did, then that forward 50 gets awfully crowded.
Lachlan with an opportunity. The hand pass was out and he apologises, just holding up the hand. Sorry, he says. Didn't quite hit with the accuracy I wanted.
I'll be interested to see how many handballs Sturt have in this term if they run the ball up, as I would expect them to, into this breeze.
It's an interesting contrast in styles. Traditionally, the Double Blues using the hand passing game, and Lyle showing what Port Adelaide does best, just putting that ball in long and working the pressure. Sturt through Whiteman, picks up the ball eventually, sleight of hand. Gee, they're working. Eventually it comes clear. Howman uses a hand pass again. Finally they break it open. Curtis off the right foot and found the boundary over there. Not a bad result, but Tim, yeah, there is a danger that they will overuse the ball there.
Well, that's Port's job then, to get the pressure on the man with the ball and try and turn that ball over.
Don't forget, if you want to buy a video of this match, you can ring 08 8343 4601 during office hours. ABC Footy. And again, we'll have a bounce down. Just wringing his hand there. Conway, perhaps sick of getting tap downs.
Yeah, he's certainly doing okay at the moment. Just inside that keyway I talk about for Port Adelaide, there's 4 sets of players there. That's what I mean, crowded.
Ball jars free. O'Loughlin, he's pretty clever, pushes off, squares it up. Good high ball, looking for Benke. Oh, Platt, or was it Ebert? Ebert, the man, tried to paddle forward. Clayton tries to get around on the right boot. Great tackle by Whiteman, picked up by Kingsley. Mown down by Howman. Benke just pushes him in the back. Free kick, it'll go to Howman. I tell you what, one of the hardest things to do in SANFL footy is penetrate that Sturt back line, as the Port Adelaide boys are finding at the moment. And Tim, will Sturt try and block it up on the outer side? The ball seems to be dead on the outer side of the ground. Will they try and jam it up there a bit?
Certainly from defence, they're going to go there every time. See where the kicking has been going.
Nelson can't break free. Taken by White, who got it to Wetherill, to Beveridge. Just manoeuvres around. He doesn't want to go forward. Goes back, this possession game of Sturt. Finally Wetherill. Good kick. Running onto it is Cooper. He missed one earlier in the first turn to Roberts Thompson. To Squire. That's a great kick. He had Feast. Oh, Feast couldn't quite take the mark. Rove by Roberts Thompson. Kick around the corner. The Double Blues get one against the tide, you would have to say. That ball just not quite holding up for Simon Feast, but Robert Thompson was right there and with the crumbs.
Well, that's what exactly happened. The ball did hold up in the breeze, and thought they were going to make a mess of it here. Robert Thompson just gets the handball back. Squire's kick just sat up in the air too long. Thiegut did well to spoil it, but that's exactly what Brett Phillips was wanting in the first term. He wanted more crummers around the front, and Roberts Thompson doubled up his work from centre half forward to get there in front of the pack and crumb a beautiful goal.
Roberts Thompson, Sturt's busiest player so far with 9 possessions.
So Sturt out by 19 points, waiting for that ball to come back. Might have gone outside the ground. Certainly went into the crowd, no doubt about that.
Good kick by Wetherill too, wasn't it, to find Cooper, which really sort of set the forward play up.
He was loose for a long time, Cooper, and nobody went to him or nobody called anybody back, so that's a bit of a concern.
Certainly a pretty open game. As I said, midway through the last quarter, I noticed it was pretty open, considering what you'd expect. Here's O'Loughlin shut down, sold into trouble. Sturt break again. Sheedy, daisy cutter looking for Chambers over the back. White, not the usual sort of rover. White gets the ball taken away from him. Smith, awkward kick, far side of the ground, out of bounds. And again, the Port defence having to work overtime.
Yeah, well, that should have been a centre clearance, but it's getting back to my comments, I suppose, before the game, just saying how much these guys haven't played with one another. There's no voice there. There's no real knowledge of who's around each other. Sturt, on the other hand, they know each other back to front.
Feast, look for Cooper, didn't get that far. Michael Wilson did well, cleared the area. Down towards the wing, Conway couldn't trap it. Binky won't trap it before it goes over the line. See that caravan in the background over there, one of Sturt Major's sponsors. It is not the change rooms, although they are small here at Unley.
Yes, I reckon I changed in a bay change room once. That was about the size of that.
You could fit into him.
I was okay. It was the rest of them.
That's right. The umpire comes in, thought about blowing it, taken by Sheedy, or whether it was met by Michael Wilson. And Mark Williams be pretty happy with what he's seen so far from Michael Wilson. Taken by Wicks. Wicks kicks forward. Loose ball. They run onto the footy. Roberts-Thompson ran over it. White couldn't quite pick it up. Once again, Roberts-Thompson with a handball. Cooper just fumbled. In goes Smith. O'Loughlin just with a bit of calmness to Archie. Braden Lyles. So Port Adelaide out of trouble for the time being. Lyles had a couple of bounces. Good, honours the lead. Looks like Evans can't quite get there. He's got a toe poke. Campbell just fumbled the ball. Well played by Evans just to lock it up. You want your forwards to do that, Tim.
Absolutely. Don't let it out of that forward 50 too easily. And he did double back and make sure the ball stayed in the area for another go at it. But just to make their moves into the forward line a little bit better. Port Adelaide, probably a couple of mistakes they're making. Overusing it at times, and at other times just giving away too many free kicks.
Umpire Jeff Brown starting the play going again. Sturt again working it in tight. This time Curtis. Curtis breaks from the back. Not a lot of pressure on him and not a very good kick. Sets a task for his players. His Feast, well, he's moved not that well since, I reckon, about February last year. So Feast, Sturt turning it over. Now it comes to Michael Wilson. He's looking good off the half-back line. Bombs it up long. Maloney comes back for Sturt. The punch clears the pack. Evans had got Xavier Campbell out of the way, so Maloney arrived just in the nick of time.
Tim, what you said about Sturt using the ball in this quarter, they've had 9 kicks and 19 handballs so far.
Yeah, is the style. And Brenton Phillips handed down from Michael Noonan, handed down from Jack Odie. It's a long list of Sturt names.
Ball back in, Kingsley, or I thought he might have got a high one there, but he thought about the option of the hand pass, and as soon as he decided not to, he was swamped. Just have a look, yeah. Thought he got one high.
Yeah, they played a couple of those today.
No video evidence in this game. Weatherall took a heavy knock before. He's back in the thick of things, as you'd expect. Parry. Just across to Lyle, shares it with Wilson. Trip, well, you don't like to see that, especially when he's had a knee operation. Ball wide, out of bounds on the full.
He's moving well, though, doesn't he? Bosun? Yeah, both him and Kingsley, which is a good sign for Mark Williams, who's here today. They're both moving well. Getting plenty of it, but Port yet to make an impact on the scoreboard.
Campbell pushes off, kicks to a pack. Benke at the back. Conway couldn't take it in the middle of that pack. Benke, kick smothered, all played by Roberts-Thompson. Benke good enough to get it to Lyle. Lyle's high ball. O'Loughlin in best position, can't take the mark. Curtis, oh, this defence, it's miserly. Maloney, way out in front of Stephen White. Test for the hamstrings. Does well to Squire. You know, he'll have polish. To Roberts-Thompson, who looks for Chambers in front of Archie. Thought he might have got a nudge. Umpire was right there. Said no. Islet's under pressure. Just wants the boundary line. Loose ball. Chambers dives into the footy. Archie missed everything. It's locked up in that forward pocket. Everyone throwing their arms up. And Brant Chambers says to the umpire, "Good afternoon, sir. You're doing such a terrific job."
Which is nice of him. And it's good to see their relationship building.
Was Mark Conway coming off for the first time today? Aaron Bishop going onto the ground into the ruck.
Good hands.
Oh, here's Weatherall. Oh, great snap from Weatherall. And as you may have heard Tim Jennifer in the background suggesting great hands from Simon Feast in the ruck. Did the ruck work, took the ball down. Slick hands, quick. Weatherall the finish.
Just watch this. Beautiful. Just got one arm free, and that's what Port Adelaide haven't been able to do with their tackles today. They haven't been able to retard the Sturt players so that they can't get a handball away. You hear Brenton Phillips say, we do not release the ball until we can get it to a target. So hold until we can get it to another handball. And that was great by Feast, just to hold on to it. Got a arm free and got a beautiful little give to Weatherall, who finished off.
Goal number 2 to Timmy Weatherall. And Port haven't scored a goal since the 90-minute mark of the first term. They need one, and they need it now. Taken by Nelson. Nelson's high ball. We don't want rain. I think we might get it anyway. Taken away. Looked like Islet in there. They Taken out by Feast. Feast short kick. He's got a player on in Roberts-Thompson. Well played by Ebert. Loose ball. Chambers wants to paddle in front. Did well. Couldn't quite get it. Archie dives on the footy. Chambers locks him up. And we'll have another bounce. 10.5 minutes gone in the second term. 34 plays 9.
Another difference between the two sides. Port tend to go to the ground very quickly instead of keeping their feet. Sturt, the more experienced side, keep their feet constantly in the play.
Very important to keep your feet.
Adam
Ball
Kingsley.
knocked away. Yes, Mark.
Sorry, boys. Adam Kingsley, he's just come off the ground and coming on for his first run. Lucas White with the headgear.
Lucas White with the headgear will be good to pick out. Anyway, free kick goes to Brett Ebert, who lays it off to O'Loughlin, who decides this time not to finesse and kick it long. Evans thought he might have, someone had a hold of his jumper. Howman picked up by Evans again. Kick was partially smothered. Steed, who hasn't really had too much of it, just burst his way through. Thought he had prior. The umpire said play on, gave him the benefit of the doubt. And the Sturt crowd, the pro-Sturt crowd, says, why wasn't that a free kick? The umpire said nothing of it.
Earned his money, didn't he, Steed, as he was falling backwards. Great tackling by the Sturt defence. They are miserly. Again, Paul Evans having to get his own crumb. Nobody front and centre. That is a concern.
Sturt with an opportunity. McDowell comes in and picks up the ball ahead of the Sturt players. Tackled high, will get a free kick, and you should think he'd make the distance from here. A little bit of rough and tough between the players.
That's what Sturt have been doing, though. Just see Conway sitting there. Take a deep breath while Bishop takes his place. But McDowell, again, he's a goal-kicking specialist. He should nail this. He's got the first one for Port Adelaide. And he got in hard, earned himself a free kick, which is, you know, the example that Tim Weatherall's been setting for the whole game.
Well, umpire just shuffling a couple of the Sturt players away, including Squire, who I think was just having a polite word to Nathan McDowell about how much Sturt's leading by, perhaps. So McDowell, the only Port player to kick a goal so far. They've only got that one goal, 3. McDowell, an opportunity from 45 metres. Oh, lovely. Never looked like missing.
He's a good kick, isn't he? And that's why he's in the team. And, you know, up forward, if he can hold the ball in the area, earn a few hard ones inside 50, it gives himself an opportunity to kick 2 or 3 every week, which is what they want out of him. But he kept his head over the footy. Tackle just slipping up to the top of the net. And we've seen a few of those today, but mainly Sturt players earning them. So this occasion, McDowell getting it and then making them pay for the mistake.
Marching back to 19 points. They clashed twice last year. Sturt won both by 19 and 15. Maybe they will fight out another one similar. Parry, but Nelson to Roberts-Thompson, who's knocking up getting possessions, to Wicks, who's been a little bit quiet. Wicks, thought he might have been dealt with. Feast! Paul Simon's on his game today. Handball to Roberts-Thompson, who's in all sorts of trouble. Wrapped up by Fegan. Umpire said free kick. It'll be taken away by White with the headgear. Long kick. Looking for Evans. Can't take the mark. Front and centre is Ebert this time. There is a crummer there, Tim Geneva. It's Ebert. Ebert's short kick and will just find the man with the helmet in Lucas White. Couple of kicks out from goal. You'd suggest he wouldn't kick it from 60. Who's giving him a lead? Platt gave him a lead. The kick was poor. Marked by Whiteman. Laid it off to Howman. Gee, too quick. That was slick. Matner got it to Whiteman. Oh, they're under pressure. And I tell you what, in the last couple of minutes, Port have really exerted some pressure and some fumbles by Sturt.
I just wondered whether Whiteman thought it was touched, the way he played on so quickly. So
yeah, he was mid-air, wasn't he, when he decided to handball off. Sturt by 19 points. Although by Parry with the tap down, still on the ground. Umpires picked out a free kick. Comes in, signals it's a Sturt free kick. Whiteman quickly off to Curtis. Curtis breaking. Wicks was the target. A lot of pace for Wicks. Wilson tries to shut him down. Holds him in close. Oh, he gets the ball. Well done. 55 metres out. Wilson loads it up the way to the left.
yeah, to be a chance in this game, they're going to have to put scoreboard pressure on, and goals like that are an absolute must. It was great work by Benke, who just squeezed the handball out. Wilson needed to finish.
Matner's long kick out to the lead of Campbell, who played for the free kick and got it. Just being nice about it. I don't know. Just wait and see. He had a bit of his jumper there, but gee,
wasn't a lot, was it? Yeah, not a lot. Technically correct, though.
Yep. Taken away by Sturt. They try and work it through. In goes Nelson. The handball.
Well, that missed the target.
Yeah, that missed the target. It did. Beveridge just cuts back inboard. Good bit of play, good bit of weaving. High ball, looking for White. Well, once he gets in front, the big man, when you set it out in front, he will take it.
Beveridge is a good pickup, isn't he? I just think he adds a fair bit there. He's tough and hard, keeps his head over the football, but it's going to be hard for, you know, if they're popping the ball up like that for Smith, who's definite height disadvantage against White. So he's going to try and play in front and attack the football. Don't wait for White to make a move.
Fair bit of experience too, I suppose, and
yes.
You'll learn a bit this afternoon. Matthew Smith, that's for sure. Right on 50, Stephen White. Keeps it reasonably low, just tugged it to the right. So behind.
It shows you how difficult it is, because he's a pretty good kick, White. You really got to punch it into this breeze.
His first score of the afternoon.
So Funk will bring it back in. AFL experienced. Drives it long, far side of the ground. From behind comes the punch. Now it's down inside 50. There should be somebody loose, and it's White. Takes a mark in the goal square. Good delivery from Nelson. Once you turn it over outside 50, if you've got that zone defence, Tim, there's always somebody loose.
We might be able to roll it back a little bit further and just have a look at who was front and centre. Nelson, and only Nelson was going to ever get that football.
Well, Stephen White made the umpire do some work behind the goals, but a goal really wasn't in doubt from that sort of distance, even allowing for what is a pretty hefty breeze here at Unley.
Yeah. Easy goal for White in the end, but you watch the kick out here from Funky. And watch this punch, falls to ground. Nelson only, and he turned it around beautifully, straight at the top of the square where White is.
Look, that's a great kick too against that breeze, and to keep it nice and low for the big fella White.
When he's not playing for the Crows, Nelson's such an advantage for Sturt to have in the middle. His physical strength and just his good sense of mind of what's around him. He played really well in the grand final last year. I was really impressed with his game.
Well, just a bit of a hold-up at the moment while we find the football.
There it comes, number 62 Frederick Street, just whacked it back.
Good on him. You see a few footballs go missing during the course of the year. Good to see one come back.
Well, you wouldn't get it at Albert, I'll tell you what. Very nice down here at Unley.
A few got missing down there. They wouldn't last long.
We can't even keep our premiership flags, mate.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, great to see Sturt keeping hold of them. Up goes the big fellow, knocks it down, taken by Ebert. Oh, just tried to do too much, Brett Ebert. Just locked up in the tackle, beautiful play. Ball spills out, Weatherall. Now is it a free kick? It's coming back to Jade Sheedy.
Don't want to be rude, but Brett Ebert had nobody to give to. The young fellow was running back at 100 mile now, looking to give off, nobody running.
On the fingertips, Cooper. Just kicks it long, they fly. No one can take the mark. One behind.
They're under siege now, Port Adelaide. I knew it would be a dangerous turn for them if they didn't use the breeze well early, because I just know the way Sturt Football Club, coached under Brenton Phillips, would play, and they are playing beautifully into the wind.
Speaking of the wind, there's plenty of rain. So, is you enjoying it down there?
Well, Neil, I do have an umbrella now, so I am pretty happy down here. I can see all the crowd now. There's umbrellas everywhere. The rain just did threaten a little bit before, but just coming down heavier now.
Well, Port have made a mistake inside 50 again. Cooper couldn't get the kick away, but he was taken high according to the umpire. And this lad, Cooper, is a tough, tough nut.
He certainly is, but here, left foot, he was always going to get to him. Yeah. I can't see White's left hand, so obviously that's gone up above the shoulder.
Yeah,
because otherwise it was a fair effort to get to him. But obviously that left arm's gone up around the head. The umpire being on the other side should have seen it well.
Tough shot, this one too.
Yeah, left foot, Neil, you being a left footer, should know that you're on the right side here.
I think he's got more of a hook and a longer kick than I ever had. I was much like you, Tim, unable to kick over a jam, Tim. Here's Cooper, and slides it around perfectly.
Yeah, that was a great kick. Obviously earned the free kick, couldn't see from our angle, but Beveridge again, really like him as a footballer, smart, didn't try to kick it. He's obviously taken high here, and goes back, as I said, perfect side for a left footer. Kick it just inside the left post, he did. Breeze did the rest for the goal umpire Cam.
Second goal to Matty Cooper. It's out to 32 points now. Up they go in the centre. Bishop's on the ground. Wicks rides a couple. That was pretty tough. Away they go through Wilson. Just back into play. Couldn't do anything. Out they come. Thought it might have been a throw, or was it held in?
Great tackle by Alfie Steed. He loves getting in there and tackling hard and doing the rough stuff. But Michael Wilson then was basically momentum forward towards goal. Should have just got a quick kick.
Boys, a double change here for Port Adelaide. Harry Miller has just come onto the ground. Coming off there is Brett Ebert, and Adam Kingsley just about to come on as well.
Ebert paying the price for that muck-up just a moment ago, maybe. Kicked forward by Roberts Thompson, and it's been marked out in front by Stephen White, who is looming as a big danger man. Matthew Smith got his hands full down there, that's for sure. He's going to kick from outside 50, White. He's given that a fair old ride. It's a high ball, will it be knocked through, just one behind. Sturt take it out to 33 points as Adam Kingsley comes onto the ground, and off goes Brett Ebert.
Paul Evans also coming off there.
Thanks, Mark.
Funk with a long kick in, a huge kick into the centre of Unley. Players again spoiling themselves for the Port Adelaide side, and eventually Parry takes his boy to ground.
It is just a classic side that hasn't played together, isn't it? Because, you know, Matthew Smith just tried to mark over the top of his ruckman, and, you know, there's really not a lot of cohesion out there.
Boy, Steve Williams has moved his pockets in the forward line right up to the half-forward, leaving Brian Binky one out with Xavier Campbell.
Well, they get an opportunity perhaps here as Lyle goes in long over Binky's head by the looks of it, and it is, and over the back there's Kingsley from point-blank range, and a goal for Port Adelaide.
That is amazing. Just the difference in, I suppose, intelligence and experience. There's Kingsley trying to bend his back. He's worried about that hamstring that he's had trouble with. But he's so clever, he knows what's around him, and he knows I have to get this onto my boot quickly. So head over it, quickly get a boot to it. Goal. Great effort by Wilson to try and come across and just give him an extra second to get the ball to boot and Shepherd. But really, that is the difference when you see experienced players versus inexperienced.
4 goals to 2 in this quarter by the Double Blues. So the second of this quarter to Adam Kingsley. Ball back in the centre. Bishop, high leap. I think he got the knockdown. Taken away by Wilson that time. Picked up by Sturt, kicked forward, rove by Beveridge. Good snare, couldn't quite break the tackle. Umpire said play on. They normally pull it up. Lyle is sitting on his posterior. Got it to O'Loughlin, who's clever out of that bit of play. Got the call from Wilson. He overran the footy. Beveridge back in again to Cooper. Cooper's got Feast. Now Feast was just off a step. The kick wasn't good. Archie takes the mark. And over the top comes Brant Chambers. I think you may have given away 25, Brant. I don't think it'll be 50.
Yeah, it's definitely 25. Just a little bit late with the effort.
Corey Archie.
Sturt is still good in close. Beveridge again getting that front and centre crumb.
Goes wide to Smith, who's got Wilson. So maybe another late goal. We've gone 23 minutes in this second term. Loaded up by Wilson. It bounces and bounces through. Oh, what a kick. Welcome back to footy, Michael Wilson. Well, he's kicked that from about 70 metres out, Tim.
He just knew, and he's been trying it earlier in the game to give it a bit of extra distance, but he knew all the players had come up the ground. Smith's little kick to him on centre wing, just in front of the scoreboard. Steps inside Sheedy. Sheedy disappointed with that effort, but all the players were up, bar Bishop, who was just a little, if he was a goalkeeper, you say he's off his line. And just enough to travel over the top of him and got the perfect bounce end on end.
10 kicks and 2 handballs for Michael Wilson.
And too many men in the centre square to start with, so belting out of there. Now they've miscounted, or have they? No, they've got their 4 in there. So Port Adelaide, gee, Tim, you're talking about not playing together. That was a classic error as well. As Sturt make the break, and White takes out Feast. In the end, it comes back Beveridge from 45 metres. Beveridge gets under it, battle in the square. Oh, Chambers got to the front, dropped the chest mark. Here's Cooper, but it's towed off the ground and over the line, fortunately. And one player left out of that collision where White hit the back is Feagit.
Yeah, he looks a bit crook out of that, but stood his ground with the courage that he normally shows and copped the whole pack.
He's a tough boy, Timmy, up very quickly, wasn't he?
Down to Nelson, quick hands, off to Cooper, turns the ball around, not far enough. Minor score for Sturt. And Sturt hits the 50 mark at the 24-minute mark of the second term.
Well, they dominated this quarter until late, but let's have a look at Feagit going backwards. And that's a good attack on the ball by White. He's got to do that. He's got to take packs and crash through, and that's an excellent effort by White. Feagit just being the victim of that.
22 points the difference as Funk goes for another long ball. Up they fly. Feast can't take the mark. Spills to ground. Sheedy's there with Smith. Ball up.
Yeah, better tackling effort by Sheedy there.
They work very hard on their game, these fellows.
Brett Ebert just warming up, so I expect to see him back on in a moment if the siren doesn't go.
Thanks, Sodas. Ball out of sight of the ground. No one can take it. They're in pretty hard. I think that'll be a free kick for a push.
They've been hot on the umpires, haven't they? Anybody that's got their head over the footy and anybody jumping in late, they've paid the free kick to.
Clayton, who laid it off to Michael Wilson, who was flat-footed, but he's got it back again, Wilson. He goes with a long kick, looking for Kingsley, working off Howman. Loose ball. In comes Benke. Can he get it back around? The handball. Looking for McDowell. McDowell's kick two. Kicks it around the corner. What a beauty from McDowell. His third. That is a top kick from there.
That's a great little goal, isn't it? And he is a goal-kicking specialist, as I said, and when he gets his opportunities, he certainly makes the most of them. Wilson again in the play. He's probably been Port's best. Michael Wilson just carried the head of Kingsley. Good attack by Benke. Runs out, thumps it back. McDowell, I think it was meant for Steve, but McDowell quickly picked it up, hooked around his body. That's just goal sense. You just know where they are, and he's got it.
Boys, Michael Wilson has just come off for a quick break with Brett Ebert replacing him.
Sturt led by 33 points at the 21-minute mark of this term, and now 5 minutes later, and they've whittled that margin back to 16 points, Port Adelaide. They're hitting hard. Here's Matner for Sturt, off to his captain, Maloney. Maloney goes low and long. Down towards half-back for Port Adelaide. They take control. O'Loughlin around on his left foot, spots up a couple of players. Maloney did well 2-on-1 and eventually got possession. Well done by Seamus Maloney. Off to Squire, went along the boundary line, straight back to O'Loughlin. He must have his own ball out there. He's had plenty of this one. And Sturt 3-on-1 and over the back. The punch came from Bishop out of bounds. Half forward left for Port Adelaide.
Yeah, it was good work by Maloney earlier because I tell you what, it could have been another late goal to Port Adelaide had he not turned that one over.
I think Wilson, who we see on the bench, and Kingsley, I think the Port AFL coach in Mark Williams had the idea that those two players would only play 3 quarters at best of this game. So Michael Wilson taking his turn on the bench and a free kick to Port Adelaide.
Goes to Clayton. Clayton sits up another high ball. Benke getting back. No free kick. Loose ball. It rolls. Maloney. Well, he had a little bit more time. So Maloney just pops that one through for Port Adelaide. Just to behind.
Yeah, we knew that, Michael, but I don't know that anybody was around telling him.
Lack of talk. Taken by Campbell. Campbell had Nelson. He's got Matner. Just holds it up. Ticking into 28 minutes. Matner! What a beauty from Martin Matner. We'll have another look at that. Oh, superb. Taken by Beveridge. That's skill. Wants to lay it off to Nelson. High ball. Feast in front. Fegan got a knockdown on it. Steed quickly on the boot. Here's trouble. Curtis on his own in the centre. They can work it up and long. Chambers on a long lead. Curtis honours that. High ball. Archie at the back. Oh, footy take took the mark. Must have got a fingernail on the opposition. Taken by Robert Thompson. Wicks just wants it inboard. Chambers inside 50 and closing. Sits it up. Good looking kick by Chambers. Goal on fighters a bit of work, but Grant likes it. And he kicks his second. Against the flow of the play, you'd have to say, Sturt get one very late.
Well, in the end, you watch this. Good work by Archie, but this handball is what lets him down. That ends up the turnover. He tries to double up his work. He even gets to his feet again to try and get to Chambers, his direct opponent. But Chambers had all day to line that up and make sure he kicked it well. That's an important late goal for Sturt. Port would have been happy going in 15 points down, but now it's 21.
A lot of the good work that they've done in time on, undone by that kick. Grant Chambers, he's improved his kicking, we'll say that. O'Loughlin can't get free of the pack. The umpire will come in and call for a bounce. See that Sturt flag unveiled here this afternoon from last year, blowing in the breeze, which is quite strong, favouring the right of screen, but very much gusty. And certainly goal umpire Cam there, we see a view of the surrounds of the oval. Lots of dark clouds around. Parry took the ball out of the ruck for Port Adelaide. Now, just a bulldozing effect. A couple of Sturt boys raffle it between them. Maybe they were fighting a bit. Roberts Thompson with the kick up looking for Chambers. Deja vu from the last play we saw. This time Chambers takes it off the Beveridge. Looks inside. Wicks flanks him. Wicks from 45. Wicks just pushed as he kicked it away to the right. Right from behind. Oh, and the crumbs straight past Feast. Dives on it again. Sturt have really got Port Adelaide under pressure back there. A free kick given away for in the back.
Yes. Clumsy, wasn't it?
Very clumsy, and that's going to cost them. And I've said that, especially that first term, they gave away too many free kicks. They've sort of curbed that a little bit in this term, but that one, that's just falling into the back of your opponent. That is so dangerous. White, 15 metres out.
Gee, they clawed it back to about 16 points, and a couple of late goals here will just take a bit of spark out of them.
Stephen White hasn't had much of a pre-season at Sturt this year. He spent a lot of time overseas in Europe. Only had about 6 weeks preparation for the season. It doesn't seem to have affected the big guy. Kicking for his second goal. Fans behind the goals are very happy, as are those in the stands with the double blues flags flying.
I just reckon it's not a bad thing, Neil, at somebody like Stephen White's age to have a lesser pre-season. It sometimes can freshen you up enough to give you back that enthusiasm, probably the main thing. The role he plays up there doesn't dominate his fitness, does it?
No, and I know for about 5 years he was talking about going overseas, and finally he got there. He made the most of it.
Oh, I bet you Port Adelaide will be hoping he stayed over there a bit longer. Anyway, 27 points the difference. Parry gets it out to Lyle, to O'Loughlin, who couldn't get the handball, so he got a kick away. Miller leads in the race for the ball. Can he haul it in? Or does it cleverly? Well done, Harry Miller. Handball over the top to Ebert. He had Steed. Right footer. Good kick. Good kick, Brett Ebert. Equally at home on right or left, and he finds Clayton at centre-half forward, and he'll go back and shoot from 45.
For a left footer, he is a very good right foot kick, you know. A lot of them look very awkward on their right, but he dropped that beautifully.
Sometimes more natural for the right footer to look good on the left, but sometimes that awkwardness comes in for the left, kicking on the right. Right on the siren. Clayton to bring it back to 21 points. Good-looking kick. It's the post. Well, they really would have loved a goal there, Port Adelaide, just to bring it back. But 9:8:62 plays 5:7:37, and Tim, a pretty good fast first half.
It was a good first half, very competitive. I thought Sturt definitely played the better. Port had a late charge there in that second term and got themselves back within 15 points, and perhaps should have done a little better, but Sturt's experience.
Well, with 6 goals to 4 in that quarter, Tim, let's run us through the goal kickers in that first half.
Thanks, Michael. Goal kickers up to half-time for Sturt. Wetherall, Chambers, White and Cooper with 2 apiece. Robert Thompson 1. Port Adelaide McDowell 3, 2 in that second term. Michael Wilson and Kingsley singles each.
And plenty of goal kickers and plenty of options for Sturt. Look at those match stats. Inside 50, still 30 apiece.
Yeah, they had a lot of handballs in that second term. Sturt really ran the ball up into the breeze well, and just got some late goals after. Port Adelaide looked like threatening, getting close. They just kicked a couple of late ones to extend the lead.
Yeah, well, as we look at the highlights, Tim Wetherall's been very important for Sturt, always busy around the packs.
Yeah, as I said, it was really good work by Feast to get that ball out to him. But he's been alive. Tim Wetherall's had a good first half.
And Michael Wilson, gee, the power would be very happy with his form.
Oh, he's just worked and worked and worked, and when he's got hold of the ball, he's wanted to get over the top of lines. And that particular kick, he knew that everybody was up the ground, and he just really launched into it to go to the top.
There's a couple of mighty kicks from him, wasn't there? He's really sussed out what's going on straight away. And
yeah, that was another one, and really used advantage of the breeze. Binky hit it hard, got it back to McDowell, who just a great goal sense, snapped it around his body through for a major.
Marty Matner, quite a fly.
That's a fantastic grab, isn't it?
Yeah, frequent flyer points there.
Yeah, that's an absolute beauty here at Unley Oval.
I tell you, he'll want the video of this match for sure. Just for that alone, you would have thought.
Great grab. Here's a piece of play by Coriachi, which is great until then. And the poor bugger really worked his heart out to try and get the ball back. But Sturt, with their good relay of handball, ended up with Grant Chambers, who really must have worked on his kicking. It's so predictable now. He's played very well in this game.
Sturt by 14 points at quarter time, extending that to 26 points in the second term, although at one stage they were out by 33.
Yeah, and Paul managed to get it back to 15 in the second term, but then those late goals that Sturt managed to get just extended the lead there at the half-time break.
And look, you'd really think that Port has to stop Sturt kicking goals in this quarter to have a chance in the last term coming with the breeze.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking earlier that I reckon that they're probably about 8 or 9 games away from being a consistent side, and they just have to play with one another for a bit longer.
Well, you're tipping. How did you go last week? This week's winner, Blanket, from Hectorville. Actually, her name is Gloria Marino, but her code name is Blanket for some reason. She was the winner last week, and she did very well at abc.net.au/SA footy, and she leads the way, as we see there, the top 10. And well done to her. And yes, always interesting at this time of the year. Some interesting names there. And Kathy Weiskamp. I hope I don't have to say that too many times this season. Well, last night it was Norwood against North, and Norwood have made a very, very good start to the season, haven't they?
Yeah, it's 3 straight wins. You can't ask for more than that. Gary McIntosh will be very pleased with it. But they look like they're a much more alive side this year, Norwood. And towards the end of last year, they looked like they were running on empty. But they've got a real good lease of life now. And that's not a bad effort by North. But then again, they just can't get over the line.
Mark Soderstrom down on the boundary. You've been around the place. You're feeling at half-time about just how this match might finish.
Well, Neil, the wind has picked up again. We have had a lot of rain during the break. The rain has abated again now. But Sturt able to kick 6 goals against that breeze, running the ball up as Tim Ginniver suggested they would do in that second quarter. The momentum certainly with them against that breeze, but if Port Adelaide can mimic what Sturt did in that second quarter, the Magpies might be a chance.
We'll wait and see. He's still got some work to do on his clothing by the looks of it. We're just about ready. It didn't seem as if his raincoat actually matched the outfit. We're working on the corporate clothing look, though. As it's just about to start this third term. Adam Kingsley in vision, just ordering people around where he wants them for the centre bounce. And your commentator, Michael Maney.
Yes, thanks, Neil. Mr. Eloquence down on the boundary line there. We're sure that he will get his act into gear and be colour coordinated next week. The umpire holds the ball aloft. Into the second half of the match of the day here on ABC TV. Sturt v the Magpies. The Double Blues will take a 26-point lead into this break. Taken by O'Loughlin. The kick forward. Good one. Lays it off to Miller. Could this be an early one for Port Adelaide? Miller inside 50. Did he finish? He did. He likes it. Exactly what Stephen Williams would have been talking about at half-time, you'd imagine. Let's get the first on the board, and she's on. It's on at half-board. The boys are in it. She's a Donnybrook. Oh, bit of stuff going on there. Thanks very much to that trainer from Going in Division.
Well, that is one of your real old-time traditional ones.
She's a beauty, this one.
Well, we talked about the banner pre-game. We haven't seen anything like that since the 80s. I don't think we've seen anything like this since the 80s. And meanwhile, back in the centre of play, the umpire says, I'm going to get on with it. I don't care how many players are here. Interesting ruck duel between 2 of the shorter players on the ground. The umpire's picked out a free kick. That'll certainly break up things. Sturt free kick to Wilson. And players, of course, still finding their positions after that little tete-a-tete. And as a result, Sturt has capitalised in the best way possible. Oh, that excites the crowd, doesn't it? And you couldn't ask for more. Clark Roberts-Thompson, who had a lot of possessions in the first half, getting clear. And a goal, and we're still waiting for something else to go on. There's plenty happening off the ball too. And so does, I think we've got a blood rule.
Yeah, we certainly have Port Adelaide player. It looks like Nathan McDowell is about to make his way. He's got a cut just between the eyes, and Simon Piker will come on to replace him.
Had a bit of something on his nose to start the game with, did McDowell. That's just been added to.
Yeah, it's just experience again, I say it. You know, they've got a goal. Sturt just wanted to settle the whole thing down as quickly as possible. Got themselves a free kick in the middle while the whole game is open. Scored themselves a goal.
Goal at the 30-second mark by Miller, and then another 30 seconds later, Sturt replied. Taken by Kingsley. High ball. Need to play in front. Taken by Curtis. Kick smothered. Wicks can't get the footy. In goes Wilson. Kicked off the ground. Well played. Good thinking. Maloney caught one high. Free kick. Well, the Magpies have come out with renewed vigour. That is for sure. And there he is, McDowell, going into the change rooms for a bit of patch-up work. Campbell out of half-back for the Double Blues. Kick around the side. Wilson, though, chops off. He's looking for Cooper, but Wilson just drifted through. Well done. The kick up the line. No one can take the mark. Loose ball. Whiteman just wriggles out of that to Wetherell. This is where they'll kill you. The double blues taken by Conway. Sits up a high ball. Feast in the front. Couple of grabs. Fegan under pressure there. Couldn't take the mark. Ball spills out the back. Nelson, very skilled player. Gives a bit of ground. Handball. Oh, sold Cooper into trouble. Thought he might have dropped the footy. And the umpire says it's a free kick to you, Matthew Cooper.
Oh, dear, tell you what.
Talk us through it, Tim.
That is a real 50-50, isn't it? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I reckon he dropped it, and Michael Wilson held on a little long, so how about the old call of play on? Happy with that?
Oh, might have been. Seeing it's pretty tight. Cooper from just on 50, 45-degree angle. He's kicked a couple. Sits this one up well. It's a good hoof. He likes it.
It's third.
Well, a goal at the 1 minute mark. The Sturt, they kick another one at the 3.5 minute mark. Matthew Cooper has his third.
Well, you'd have to say good work by Nelson getting the handball back, but that was really dodgy. That was really dodgy. Let's have a look at this. He's just dropped that ball. That is, I'd have to say, a stinking decision.
Stinking.
That's a great kick, though. You've got to take advantage of what you get, and that's what Matthew Cooper did.
Sturt back to a 32-point advantage after all the action in the first couple of minutes of this quarter. Squire sat on his backside. Hard to get the ball from there. Wilson did well. Now Miller sweeps a hand pass to O'Loughlin. Inside 50, closes, steps, walks, finally on the left leg. Running, and no mark or a free kick. Umpire says free kick. Umpire Jeff Brown coming in there, and still the players are not very happy with each other. Paul Evans will go back and take the free kick.
Got to control that desire, though. You just can't get stupid with it and hit, you know, people high or tackle them in the back. Just got to be smart with it. You know, Port Adelaide have been probably the ones not doing it correctly. On that occasion, Curtis has just tried to spoil the ball, and a good attack on the ball by Evans got him a free kick. But Port have been over-exuberant at times and give away free kicks just by not being smart about the way they tunnel their aggression.
It's a bit of a journey too for Paul Evans back at the club this year.
Yeah, went away, did some coaching and some playing at Robinvale, and now he's back here at the Magpies and missing goal. You've got to kick those.
Tricky breeze. As far as my stats are concerned, I think that's his first score of the afternoon. Long kick out finds Cooper at half-back for the double blues. Cooper sits up a high ball, feasts the target. Fegan worked his way in front. 50-50 that one, I think. White didn't get a nudge from Smith. Free kick goes to Beveridge, too high.
I don't think there's much in that either.
I might just ask our statistician, Ian Moggridge, just how many free kicks have been paid today?
Yes, it's been a lot, Tim. 29, 16 to Sturt, 13 to Port.
Real, isn't it? 29 free kicks. Well, they might be earning it. That's the main thing.
Cooper's loose in the pocket. Beveridge ignores him. Feast gave the lead as well. But Beveridge is a good kick of the footy. Hasn't quite got the journey. The ball hits the deck. Chambers claimed it. Laid it off to Feast. Feast a dinky little left footer. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And Simon Feast kicks. Goal number 1 for him.
Talk about some basic football, fellas. Just have a look at this as the kick comes in from Beveridge. 3, not 1, 3 Port Adelaide players up. Chambers stays down. Quick give to somebody who's front and centre, who's about 6'5". My Lord, basic football. Sturt play it and play it well and get goals out of it. Port Adelaide being, well, they're not giving themselves even half a chance.
Well, I would have thought the most incredible thing out of that was that Chambers had time to look to the umpire, realise it was play on, and still get the hand pass away without being effectively wrapped up.
No, they're all falling on the ground after they've all been up for the mark.
Well, Cooper, or rather Xavier Campbell, falling on the ground there and taking the ball, so we'll get a bounce. Still inside the centre square, slightly to the Port advantage. Curry comes from behind, thumps it forward for Port. Coming against the tide was Maloney, met Kingsley, somehow a kick out of there by Evans. Down in front of goals, but Howman, it was the player who came into play in the premiership last year ahead of the club captain. in Chris Threadgold, and that was late from Wilson according to the umpire, and Cooper for the brunt of it for Sturt. We'll just have another look at this.
Well, he earns his match day pay, Cooper, doesn't he? Because he's been in a couple of those really tight clinches.
Well,
and he's earned his kicks.
He copped plenty in the hills when he played up there. I think he had 6 seasons up there for something like 5 best and fairest for the Harndorf club. He can play, this lad. Thumping kick, good 60, 70 metres up to the 2 twin targets. White was the man who got the ball away. Fegan, the ball fell into his arms.
Yeah, I think they're saying was it 10 metres or 15 now.
Well, Fegan's kick is 15. So they'll get an opportunity to clear their back half, and that'll be 25. Yeah, it's just encroaching. He thought that was actually play on, and Matthew Smith wasn't ruled to have played on.
Hasn't had the best of relationship with the men in white today, Brian, has he?
No. No, we've seen plenty of that green mouthguard of his. As Smith goes wide to the flank. Not the best of directions. Sturt again, work it in tight. Well done. Kick the ball up towards half forward again, and again White comes out and meets it, and again Sturt at the fall of the ball. It was well done by Smith, but then turned it over. Now Robert Stopson off the right foot, waiting. Minor score, I think. We'll have a look. Yes, he was leaning, and he couldn't quite get to control the ball when it's in mid-air.
Yeah, just trying to will it through, wasn't he? Good decision, old umpire Cam there, never lies, but it was good effort by Nelson. He intercepted that ball to create an opportunity for Robert Thompson.
Kick to half-back, Wicks, unlikely flyer. Parry, caught with the footy, well done Wicks. Weatherall tried to get it to McGarry, medalist, and Sheedy, ball caught underneath.
You do have to keep saying that in the side, don't you? McGarry medalist, McGarry.
Thank goodness
3 or 4 years, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years, so they're everywhere out there.
81 plays 43. Sturt stamping their authority in the third term. Kingsley just ran out of there unopposed, and the kick, not a good one. Mark Soderstrom just about to take the mark there. Could have taken that one one-handed, Mark.
Geez, boys, I got close. That is the closest I've been for a long time.
Curtis kicks along the line, goes wide to White in front of Smith. Well, I thought Archie had him just a moment ago. There it comes, good mark. As White just kicks away, goes for goal and misses everything. Well, I thought he was a chance from there, or at least he thought he was a chance from there.
Yeah, well, he knew that he could make the distance. It was just a matter of the accuracy, and he just hooked it far too much.
Fegan, dangerous kick, 25 metres from goal. Defensive end of the ground. Finds Wilson. Wilson in turn. Slightly on the back foot, but he got good distance to Archie. In turn, across to Lyle. Lyle's got plenty of space in front of him. Opts to go at the kick. Oh, that worked. Somehow, I don't think it was meant to work like that, but it did. Now they turn over the ball. On the ground came through Miller. Just got the foot to the ball. Sturt through Howman, back towards the wing. Whiteman fumbled it. He's a bit greasy out there. We did have a bit of rain, as Soda's mentioned, at half-time. Kingsley, plenty of possessions for him. We'll get the stats from Moggy in a moment. And the kick wide and out of bounds. We see the Sturt bench just warming up. But Moggy on Kingsley.
Adam Kingsley, 8 kicks, 5 handballs.
So he's touched it a bit, Tim. That'd impress the power people.
And besides the one out of bounds on the full, most of them have been pretty effective.
The AFL ground, slightly bigger than Unley, perhaps. Sheedy, Sturt break away from the centre again. Sheedy through the centre square, up long to the targets. Falls to ground. Just overrunning it was Beveridge, taking it towards the boundary. Fegan now hounded towards the boundary, and eventually it's over. Umpire calls for a throw in.
It's good work by Beveridge. As I said earlier, I reckon he's been a really good recruit for Sturt. Just holds the ball in there, making sure Fegan can't get it loose, and holds it in the area for another stoppage. They can set up and try and create another goal.
They'd like one, the double blues. Ball back in, Feast. No real advantage there. Taken by Lyle. It's a wayward kick. Smith's got the run of it, though. Just wants a good bounce to Wilson. So they work this ball out. They've got Parry short. Wilson shows a bit of toe. Runs his full distance. Long kick up to half forward, but floating back like a gazelle. Brett Howman. The judgments there. That back line working well.
He's been good, Howman.
To Whiteman over the top. Slips it to Curtis. This is where they kill you. Short, Tries to go to Nelson. Nelson gave the lead. The kick wasn't good. Feed it. Takes the mark. Just pulled off the kick. Just wanted to get it away in a hurry. Looking for Wilson. James Wilson. Lays it off to Eilert, who hasn't had the best of days. Wilson. Oh, over the boundary line on the full. And James Wilson didn't agree with that.
Oh, look, they made hard work of that. They should have taken it out.
Talk about hard work. That's one bit of hard work. Oh, just out of vision. Andrew Beveridge, his kick was pretty ordinary. Ball taken toward the boundary. Wetherell. Oh, caught high. And he loves to slip down, does Timmy Wetherell.
Yeah, it's a good point. I don't actually think that one was high. It's a pretty good effort by Evans, because he had to get him down, but just from the back vision, definitely got up around the head, and he earns his free kicks, Timmy Wetherell.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
Evan Cooper.
I think the slap was what gave it away for the umpire, and I don't know if that was a free kick, but never mind. Sturt into attack again. Gee, that's a strong mark by Parry. He decides to play on, almost caught immediately. Now the ball in open territory with only Sturt to control it. Here's Roberts-Thompson, steadies up in front of the goals. That wasn't the best of kicks, was it?
Neil, very lucky to get away with that. He's a young man. He definitely has a go in the game, Parry, but to kick that ball across goal with no real target in sight was very dangerous. And they should have paid for that. Sturt should have made them pay.
Braden Lyle didn't mean it to get to where it did, but Eilert took the ball. His kick wasn't the greatest. Hellman just reached over the top. Then he gave a poor hand pass. Sturt get away with it though. Wicks, that'll be too far. Yes, just that little pitching wedge and out of bounds. And Andrew Beveridge crashed.
Oh, that would have hurt. He's just slid knees first into the fence, and that would have hurt. He's going to have to come off, I reckon. That would have hurt.
Yeah, if he hasn't done anything to his left leg, I'll be very surprised. I think that was the one that actually may have hit the guttering there.
Boys, Nathan McDowell has come back onto the ground a little bit like Hannibal Lecter, all taped up, and Evans coming off.
Well, I don't know if losing your feet in that situation was the best thing for Beveridge. So ball whack. Wilson kicking his brother Michael then handballing it out. Wetherell missed his target, but Curtis did well and was taken high. Oh, surely, yes.
Oh dear, that was very high.
And Sturt again, spreading the ball to the far side of the ground. They do this well. Down inside 50, White the target, opposed to Smith. White, the big body, got to the front. Oh, the unlikely rover in Feast. Whack, out to the Magarey medalist in Squire. Shows his class, goes around, and then misses.
Yeah, he's been very quiet today, Squire, and when you get an opportunity like that, you just have to make sure it counts. And Sturt, with all the play at the moment, really have to put it on the scoreboard.
Just 4 possessions, Damien Squire.
I'll tell you who has played well for Sturt, Hellman in defence. I know some of the kicks haven't been to the advantage of Binky, but he really has outplayed him.
He's towed him up, that's for sure. Funk told into the ball for a long time. Gets a lead from Parry. Now he's got to go, and does. Takes a good, strong mark. Played on a moment ago.
His
and it wasn't good.
decision-making's not that great at the moment, is it?
Yeah, agree with you there, Tim. Funk.
What was that?
Decision, not so good there. Squire gets his 5th possession to Sheedy. Outer side of the ground, Roberts-Thompson, who's brought his own football to Unley today. Short kick, looking for and finding the big man White on the lead. Just gets the ball out in front. If you get that ball out in front of Stephen White, the tentacles, he'll grab it.
Roberts-Thompson's been a very good player for Sturt today. He's had plenty of it, and that was a great kick. Just put it out in space. And this guy, he'll take all the time in the world because he knows that they need a goal. When I say to settle down, they're nearly 40 points up. It really is because they've had so many attacks in this last 5 or 6 minutes and they haven't got a goal.
45 points, a long way back. Stephen White aiming to put the double blues 45 in front. He's just missed to his near side. So another behind to the big man. It's 2 goals, 3 by my reckoning.
Again, like I said, they just needed that one because you've got to get reward for your efforts.
Well, Port fumbled by, and well done by Cooper for Sturt, and then around the corner, finished by Beveridge. So knee or no knee problems. Andrew Beveridge bounces back and kicks a goal, and again a mistake, Tim, in the defensive end, and an easy mark drop there by Funk.
There's a bit of an old saying that you shouldn't go short in your defensive 50 unless it's certainty, and that one looked like a certainty. Unfortunately, with the breezy conditions, it didn't come off.
quick turnover, and Beveridge, another goal to the Blues. And he's a very good player, Beveridge. You know, I reckon it's a fantastic pickup for the Sturt Footy Club, but he obviously still having trouble with that knee, and Mark Soderstrom on the boundary will check it out.
Boys, yeah, Andrew Beveridge just coming off, and Matthew Powell is going to replace him. Matthew Powell had an epidural during the week to get his back right.
Let's hope he goes well. There goes Maloney, a long thumping torpedo punt. In goes White, dives on the footy. They're all after it. The handball out looking for Sheedy. Sheedy kicks it off the ground. Here comes Simon Feast. He can't pick it up. Adam Kingsley there for the Port Adelaide Magpies. Just kicking out, looking for the boundary. Alfie Steed, who just had one of those days today, Alf. Handball over the top, not good. They'll throw it back in. Hasn't been able to get into the game at all.
Yeah, we started on the bench and came on in that second term, but look, the weather's a little bit hard at half-time. We had a lot of rain, made it a little bit greasy, but Port are in danger here. They've got to really consolidate. Sturt is starting to look awesome.
Speaking of danger, here comes Sheedy. That's a long high ball. Archie gets back, thumped away by White, taken by Fegert, who just paddles in front of him, has nowhere to go, has to back into trouble. Archie gets it back to Smith. Now Smith's coming down the line and even can't find touch. Kicks it out of bounds on the full. Nothing going right at the moment for the Maggies. Xavier Campbell, the man, who's drifted down from half-back. Only two players in Port Adelaide's forward 50. Long kick by Campbell. In comes Feast from the side. Can't take the mark. Smith just paddles. Here's Cooper. Been on the ground for 35 seconds, 40 seconds. Pirouette. Kick partially smothered. Oh, knocked away. Sorry, I should say Powell. Away they go. Wilson. In goes Lyle. Lyle down the line. Clayton running with a flight of the footy. Can't take the mark. Gutsy attempt as the rain starts teeming down. And Squire takes it to the boundary.
Yeah, just little things that are experienced things where James Wilson's tried to kick the ball inside a couple of times when it's going to be much better to have a ball thrown in right where Mark Soderstrom is.
Boys, I'm cowering under the umbrella now. It's really coming down heavily.
Cowering was the word.
Funk gets the ball forward for Port, long and high. Maloney did well. You see that ball just drifting in the breeze. Maloney went back and took the mark. Interestingly, Tim, Port Adelaide, 2.5 games this season, and it's still not won a quarter of football.
Now you can see why today.
Aaron Bishop's just come on the ground to replace Mark Conway. Great use of the body there by Bishop to allow that mark to be taken by Howman.
Howman gets it up inside the forward 50 again. Wetherell gathers for Sturt, still on his feet, and was then thumped the ground for his good sense in staying on his feet. Interesting, Tim, also, last time these two clubs met here at Unley was 2 years ago in round 23, and Port Adelaide gave Sturt a fearful hammering that day in conditions, well, slightly worse than this. It was muddy as well as wet.
And Sturt weren't in the best form at that particular time, and Port were, so any wonder the result. But basic footy stuff that we've seen here today that Sturt can achieve and work the ball well. Port haven't got those basic skills at the moment and haven't got a basic cohesion with one another, and that's going to take some time.
McDowell looking a little bit like Aussie Joe Bugner out there with all that tape around him. He really has been in a battle, that's for sure.
Yeah, they certainly tape them up these days, don't they, when they get a knock to the head.
Boundary throw in. Parry tries to get it down. Taken by Wetherell. Spiral torpedo punch should skim out of play. No, it won't. Fegert, well, took it out of bounds. Boundary umpire missed that one, but Fegert kicked it out of bounds on the full. Had a little bit more time to steady than that and dropped it out of bounds. Nelson squares it up. Good kick. Lyle's going to fly. Roving it was White, taken by Piker. Just got it onto the boot. Bishop got it to Powell. Powell just outside 50. Kick a goal, Matthew. And he did. Goal number 1 for the half-back turn, half-forward. They're kicking from everywhere.
It's a great goal. It's very greasy conditions here. Port Adelaide again 2 up. Fell to the back. 3 or 4 numbers in front for Sturt again, and Powell from 50 out just drove it straight through the half. Now, this is another great example of an experienced side versus an inexperienced one. Port Adelaide defence, the ball's always on grandstand side. Where did Sturt take it when they're going into the breeze? Outer side, worked it up that side because that's the dead pocket.
After a dead level first half, inside 50 this quarter, Sturt 18, Port 4.
Yes, and 52 points the margin in favour of the Double Blues. It's not good signs for the Maggies. It looks like they will definitely start with 3 losses to begin 2003. Here's Kingsley, short, looks for Steed. Steed grabs it, about 60 from goal. His low and hard kick, unable to be marked. On the ground now, Smith, who's obviously gone forward, taken in a tackle. Here's Whiteman, hands and knees. Some sort of hand pass was fashioned, and eventually it's over the line.
Yeah, they've taken Smith off of White and moved him up forward, the young fella. Good experience there. Hello.
A bit concerned by the weather.
Popping the head out for a look.
Kingsley will get a free kick for that, holding the man or in the back, one of the two. Jade Sheedy pleads his case. Umpire says no thanks. Umpire Jeff Brown. Kingsley decides on a short option, and Mark Clayton was free inside 50. That doesn't happen very often to the Sturt defence today.
No, they've been excellent and really have taken everything.
Smith looking the worse for wear there, Tim.
Sucking him in.
Yeah, he's slid against the turf, eaten a bit.
Mark Clayton, a very, very good kick. That one was no exception, and a goal, and a much-needed one by the Port Adelaide side.
Well, they got one in the first 30 seconds and taken a long time to get the second one. Another 24 minutes just about to get it. So it was hard work, but eventually Kingsley, just the experience, hit the targets. And Mark Clayton is a good kick for goal.
Plenty of time in the game to go for Port Adelaide, but you'd think they'd need the next 2 to be any sort of realistic chance at all. The way Sturt are playing, you wouldn't think so. 95 plays 49. Out of the centre, O'Loughlin. Up forward, Clayton to kick the last goal. Squeezes one out, up towards half forward. Taken by Maloney. Must have been touched off the boot because he played on immediately. Taken by Wilson. Dies over Roberts-Thompson. In goes Whiteman. Just wants to paddle. That is terrific play to Sheedy. Great play. Sheedy spots up Wetherell. Take the mark. They share it, as they did the McGarry medal. Had a couple inside. Decide to go down the line. Nelson's free. Couple of kicks out from goal. Tries to go around. Nelson spots up Sheedy. The kick could have been better. Harry collects the footy. Oh, great tackle. Ball spills out the back. Fegan. Second there. Chambers. Good play by Wilson. Just a game of inches at the moment. Taken by Chambers. Feast couldn't get it. Ran through his fingers. O'Loughlin dived on the footy. Went to ground pretty easily. And there'll be a ball up. You just need to keep your feet, but I suppose he needed to commit the body there a bit, Tim.
There was some hard work done there, wasn't there? With a greasy ball, you're going to get a lot of those 50-50 situations. Well, there you go.
The Steve with a free kick off to O'Loughlin. Around the corner, not quite what he'd hoped for, I'm sure. Miller just tapping it out wide. Kingsley, hands and knees, and we'll get a free kick for in the back. Up by Brown again, officiating that one. He's got a couple loose on this side of the ground. Fakes to go that way, and then in long and hard to half forward. Sea of bodies there. Maloney emerges, parts the sea, kicks it out long. Sturt with the numbers. Again, Nelson, well trapped, just pushes off an opponent. Then his hand pass to Cooper wasn't the best. Sturt now forced to work hard again. Nelson forcing it forward. Fegan using the fend with effect. Out to O'Loughlin. Touched the ball many a time this afternoon. Moggy, give us a stat in a moment when you can. Plenty of room for O'Loughlin as he goes down the far side of the ground. His accuracy was perfect. Michael Wilson with the mark. Left legger will try to come inside, you would think. Held up. Sturt defenders back in numbers.
Michael O'Loughlin, 13 kicks and 8 handballs. Only Clark Roberts-Thompson's had more of the ball.
Here's Bishop for Sturt. Thanks for that, Moggy. Kingsley, he's had a few possessions as well. Goes to the far side of the ground. Sturt come in numbers yet again. Smith unable to take the mark. Matner breaks from the back. Haven't seen much of him, but what he's done has been effective. Matner with a 70-yard kick, if you don't mind, with the breeze. White waits, gives off the hand pass. Cooper wants his right leg right. Pretty good, pretty effective. And Nelson, who joined his father last season as being a premiership player with the Sturt Football Club. His father, Sandy, played in a couple. And Ben Nelson will go back and have a shot at goal. He'll kick from outside 50 with the breeze. You'd imagine he shouldn't have too many hassles.
I think his father snuck 7 premierships in, Neil.
Yeah, I didn't want to count them all, but I knew there was a few. Joins you in the 7-up club. Long kick from Nelson, no mistake. The Double Blues go even further in front. They're out now by 52 points.
That's a great kick, isn't it? You get a set shot, and you've got to earn them, and you've got to make sure you nail them. And Ben Nelson just finished off some good work by his teammates there. Matty Cooper's been in everything, so him and Timmy Weatherall really set the pattern today for getting their head over the footy and earning free kicks, and Nelson finished it off for him.
Ben Nelson, 21 possessions today.
21 quality possessions too, that's for sure. 6 goals to 2 in this third term by the Double Blues has really set it all up for them. Taken by O'Loughlin, got it to Miller. So Miller, plenty of toe, has a bounce, kicked the first goal of the quarter, loads it up, long kick by Miller, just falls short, marked by Maloney, the ever-reliable skipper of the Double Blues. Out looking for Squire, who's had only about 7 or 8 possessions. And when he gets it, he looks pretty good. Squire. Down the wing, hard running by Sheedy. Oh, Parry just about took the mark. In comes Fegan and knocks the ball out of bounds. Good commitment also by Whiteman.
Oh, no backward steps from those two.
Good stuff, isn't it? Great to watch. All players commit themselves.
Ticking into 29 minutes. 51, 52 points the difference. The Double Blues. Steed to Funk. He couldn't quite get it. Thought he might have got a nudge. Squire tackles in. Paddled out the back to O'Loughlin. The underground kick to White. White's kick around the corner. Miller's got to go. Ball hits the deck. Foot race. Campbell's there. Miller's quick. But Campbell is equal to the task and runs it out of bounds.
Was Lucas White coming on for Port Adelaide and Matthew Smith having a break.
Better late than ever. I should mention halftime scores at other grounds. West Adelaide by 25 points over the Eagles down at the Woodville Oval, and Glenelg, a little bit of a surprise, by 2 points over South Adelaide down at the Bay, and Sturt through Whiteman get the ball out of bounds again.
Good effort by Glenelg. They're showing a bit, which is great.
Conditions have been difficult here, but it's still a really good standard of football. And great for the crowd who's turned up here today to watch. See some really good clashes physically.
Well, Harry showed some promise in the rock. O'Loughlin turns the ball at the outside of his boot, up inside the forward 50. Oh, a lot of bodies met then. I'll want to wait and see if they all get up. Here's Kingsley taken over the line. Eventually, umpire rules in the back. Third free kick for in the back for Kingsley in about the last 5 or 6 minutes of play. And surprisingly, after that pack hit the ball hard and then hit the ground hard, they all got up and walked away.
They have been whistle happy today. There's been lots of free kicks.
Gone over 30 minutes in this quarter. Kingsley perhaps aware, just taking his time. There is an old clock on the far side of the ground that he's able to see probably in his vision. So beyond the 30-minute mark, Kingsley for goal, slides it across in front of goal, and eventually rushed through by one of the Sturt defenders, Marty Mattner, I think it was, who took the ball across the line. And Port has cracked it for 50 points. Unfortunately, Sturt 51 points in front.
Dying moments of the third term. Kick by Campbell. It was about a 70-metre kick. Found Roberts-Thompson. There's the siren. So it is three-quarter time at Unley Oval. Sturt 15-11, 101. Lead Port Adelaide 7-8-50. And Tim Geneva, a pretty good quarter. 6 goals in that term to 2. Really has set it up again for the Double Blues.
That was an excellent quarter, and they just worked so hard early. I mean, Port got the first goal, and they really could have got unsettled, but Sturt quickly answered it within another 30 seconds and then dominated the quarter, and they've just got a far superior cohesive unit, and the way they use the ball with one another, and they just understanding of how to play basic footy. Port, on the other hand, really do lack a lot of the basics.
Well, Timmy Weatherall, we saw there in vision. We're going to have a look at just what he's done this afternoon, and it's been pretty good quality from the man who was married to Marnie in the off-season and also won the McGarry medal last season, a premiership winner, but also tragically involved in that Bali bombing.
He hasn't lost anything by the way he's played football here today, and it's the first time I've seen him play this year, and he's just been at it like his normal style of football. And I suppose like riding a bike, you don't forget how to do those things, and he just keeps getting in low and hard at the ball and earning free kicks like that one.
Yes, he has been, and continually earning free kicks, although Adam Kingsley had a free kick or two in that quarter, didn't he?
Yeah, it took them a long time to get their hands on the football, but both Kingsley and Michael Wilson's return to football here today has been pretty good.
Yeah, very positive. Wilson's return for the power. If you're looking at the AFL side of things, and as you said, Kingsley's got a lot of possessions, but Michael Wilson has found the ball off the half-back flank, and I think Mark Williams, the power coach, said on Friday that he was only really looking for Wilson and Kingsley to play 3/4 of football.
Well, it's certainly just about top that up, so that's what I was saying with Port Adelaide. It was a bit of danger time in that third term because Sturt were really getting away with the game, and I knew that those two blokes weren't going to be out there for much longer, and they'd have to get the most out of them that they could, but really good quarter by Sturt. Michael Wilson, a great goal there, but they dominated.
I mentioned during the call, Port Adelaide's still yet to win a quarter of football this year. You would hope that they're going to, as you say, improve through the season and get more used to playing with each other.
I think they will. They've got a greater depth at the club this year, and it's just a fact of life that they've got a lot of players that haven't played together, and you really see that stick out today like a real sore thumb.
Well, it's been an enjoyable day if you're a double blue fan, and certainly one of the double blue fans who's been huddling against the rain and the wind, but enjoyed it very much, is ABC 891 radio presenter Matthew Abraham. Matthew, well rugged up there. Are you enjoying the footy?
I am. I'm in my 891 gear here, and I'm Ball Brothers beanie. I'm as warm as toast, and it's been a great game if you're a Blues supporter, of course.
And you're a local resident. You're one of those who pushed pretty hard to get Sturt back here at Unley Oval.
Well, Neil, I think Unley's a great place to live, but it's, of course, getting very trendy, and I'm a fairly trendy person, so are you. But I thought it was fantastic that we could get our local footy club back here, playing in the heart of Unley. And, it's just brilliant. It's brilliant, and there's a real buzz in the town when the footy team's here. And they've got it set up now with they take the fences down at the end of the game, and you wouldn't know it wasn't anything other than a great community oval when there's no footy here. So it's brilliant. Yeah, it's pretty important, isn't it, that they have retained the character of the oval, but of course they shut it off every Friday night, and then Saturday night they rip down the fences again. I think it's a great model for other communities because it frees the ground up. It's magic. Well, thanks for enjoying the game this afternoon. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. And many a double blue supporter would be gladdened by the performance today. Yeah, I think the Blues have got the cocoa edge. Thanks for that, Matthew Abraham from ABC 891 Radio in Adelaide. Now down to Sodas. He's been having a look at the real huddle out on the ground.
Well, Neil, a strong quarter by the Blues again there. You can understand Port Adelaide not very happy in their huddle, not able to get our microphone too close there. The key has been for the back line in this final quarter to play in front of the Sturt forwards and just run and attack and take risks. With an 8-goal deficit, with the use of the breeze, there may be some hope for Port Adelaide if they can take those risks and they come off nicely.
Thanks for that, Sodas. We look at the goal kickers, and they need McDowell, Clayton, these guys to, they'll need to kick on very hard if they're going to win.
Yeah, well, Cooper with 3 goals has played an excellent game and lots of twos there in the Sturt lineup, and only the multiple goal scorer for Port Adelaide is McDowell with 3, but been tough work for Port Adelaide, and they really need to get some goals back and just win a quarter of footy.
Well, as we said, yeah, they have not won a quarter of footy. We look at those stats, and Sturt kicking away in that quarter with their inside 50s.
Yeah, well, they dominated, and, it was a matter of time before they broke the defence and ended up kicking goals because there was opportunities that were going begging there for a while for Sturt. A good 6 or 7 minute period where they didn't score and had it inside 50 a lot, but eventually they settled down and got some good goals.
Well, the free kicks 18-17 in favour of Sturt, but whilst that would indicate the umpires have been somewhat whistle happy, the free kicks have been there, and there's been a lot of bodies flying around.
Well, there might be some direction to pay it if it's there, and they've done exactly that, and hasn't been too many that haven't been free kicks.
Back down to Sodas, he's with Tony Brown, a Magarey medalist, but not able to play this year for Port Adelaide as yet.
Tony, it's been a challenging start, to say the least, for the club today. Is it fair to say that there's a number of new players in the team just taking a while for the side to gel?
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons. We've, I suppose, recruited heavily, and there's a few young guys coming in too, so it will take a few weeks to get everything together.
And Tony, the leg broken last year, how far away from playing?
Hopefully about round 10, so just starting a running program, and yeah, looking forward to getting into it.
Okay, mate, good luck with the rehab.
Well, perhaps the most disappointing thing out of that conversation was Tony Brown still well and truly a few weeks away.
I think the words were round 10. I think that was the most disappointing thing, but
yes,
he's
exactly.
a fantastic player and one much needed in that midfield for Port Adelaide.
Well, everybody clearing off the ground. We're just about set for a start of the final quarter, and it's Sturt leading the way at the moment by 51 points. Here's Michael Maney.
Yes, Neil, they're led by 26 at half-time. They've extended out just about double to 51. And last quarter action, SANFL round 3, match of the day. Up they go. Sheedy tried to take it out of the middle. Couldn't do so. Secondary bounce right in the middle. So they push and shove. And we'll be underway just a moment. But Port Adelaide really do need to get a wriggle on. They need to kick the first 3 goals and then push from there to make even a game of it. Taken by Miller. Handball back. Ebert, crunched Whiteman. They paddle it to the boundary line. Ebert wants to get on that left boot. Great tackle by Squire. Ebert on the footy. Umpire said held to him. I think he might have been a bit lucky there, but he was the only man playing the ball there. He had the run of the footy, Brett Ebert. There he goes. Great work by Squire there, Tim.
Yeah, just managed to get that ball free out of his hands, and that's something that Port haven't been able to do to Sturt. See that? 3 tackle in, but didn't lose possession of the football, didn't give it up, and that's an important thing.
And Tim, you'll be very interested in this score. Glenelg at 3/4 time. We're just having another quick look at Cooper getting dragged to the ground. 3/4 time, I'll make the Bay fans wait. They're beating South Adelaide by 47 points, and West Adelaide over the Eagles by 28.
Gee, that's a big result so far for the Bays. They wouldn't be celebrating at the moment. Matner, who has been celebrating all day along with the double blues. Mark taken by Maloney.
The skipper's been good, hasn't he?
He has. Been terrific. The kick. Bishop at the back. Parry at the front. Front and centre. Braden Lyle. Ben Nelson, the man, giving the tackle there. Ball held in. Another bounce.
Tim, I hate to tell you, but if Glenelg wins this afternoon, that'd leave Port alone at the bottom of the ladder.
No, thanks for that. I needed to hear it.
Oh, of course, North Adelaide's down there, but, you know, it could be they're left alone. So here's Matner. Just short to Sheedy. I thought Sheedy might have been a chance to get crunched then, but just had enough time to take the ball before Clayton closed him down. Now they work at the Howman. 25 metres from his defensive goal. Well, his kick was not the best. Gave too much of the ball to try that one again. Gave too much of the ball to the Port Adelaide player, and in the end, Sturt did well to get the ball well and truly out of their defensive area of the ground.
Yeah, they still didn't turn it over, Neil. That's the thing, they can make mistakes, and Port aren't making them pay. Needed to turn that one over with a goal. But might give Ian Mogridge a task during the week. Find out when the last time Port Adelaide started the season with 3 losses.
Well, there's a spanking kick from Ebert, but out on the full. And Howman will take the free kick in front of Binky. 51 points to the margin. Early stages of the final term here at Unley. Tennis club, I see, rained out this afternoon now. They were out there earlier over the back of the oval. Howman comes grandstand side, in front of the Jack Odie stand. Untouched, incredibly. Shows you there's a bit of breeze out there still.
Yeah, coming across the ground a little bit now too, so definitely carried into that pocket fairly easily.
Lovely technique by the boundary umpire as he throws it in. Parry knocks it to Miller. Now Miller's an excitement machine. He kicks around the corner. It's a good-looking kick, but it's been marked again by that man who's got a touch of leather poisoning this afternoon in Howman. Short kick, Sheedy. They try to work the ball to the outer side to Sturt. That's been their ploy when kicking against this breeze. Campbell wants to go short again. Doing the running is Sheedy.
Well, automatically, it's on the defensive side.
Yeah.
Automatically. So, you know, as a defensive, you know, exit out of their 50, they always go that side, and it's sensible. Great mark, Bishop.
Graham to Sheedy, who just racks up the possessions. Back to Campbell, so Campbell just running forward again. So they're running numbers to Sturt. Now Campbell will look for something longer. His target's White. White's at the back, gave his opponent a nudge in Piker, but the umpire said it was okay. White loads up a long left footer, high ball, Archie, good thump away. Powell, who kicked one in the third turn, couldn't get it. Funk, who's just had a touch of the fumbles himself. Ball toward the boundary line, thrown in. Gee, Ross Funk just hasn't had the best of days. He hasn't had much intensity when the ball's been in his lap.
A couple of hairy moments, definitely, and a couple that have come unstuck and turned into goals, and that was nearly another one.
Feast just lays it down. Powell buried in the turf. Was heading that way, and believe me, Nigel Fegert was quite intent on burying him in the turf there.
It's a bit of frustration.
Just 25 metres out from the Blues goal. A couple of blocks coming in and off the ball. Feast goes down. Ball towards the boundary. And over the line. 51 points still the margin, as it was at three-quarter time.
I like players showing desperation, but keep your feet. Keep your feet. Don't keep going to the floor. Sturt do it pretty well.
Just hacked out of there by O'Loughlin, who's had his fair share of the ball today.
He's worked hard in the middle.
Don't forget, if you want to buy a video of this match, 8343-4601. It's an Adelaide number, so 08. And only in office hours, of course, during the week is Ebert. High and long off the right boot. Best position was Bishop. It came to Clayton. Bishop just was good enough to get up and knock him over the line. So just a lull in the match. I don't think there's much doubt about who's going to win this game.
Neil, just speaking with the Sturt physiotherapist, Andrew Beveridge, it's just a bruise to the knee, but we won't see him for the rest of the day.
Put him on ice, Andrew Beveridge. Here comes Miller. He was good a moment ago. Short kick, Wilson. Thumped away by Matner, held it long enough.
What was the decision? Hanging on. They generally pay them, don't they? The umpires run in and held onto his shirt as if it was hanging on.
Did it?
Well, I wouldn't have thought what was wrong with that piece of play. That was a great spoil.
Yeah.
Well, unless he was talking about the play before it and the player getting knocked down or something, I don't know. I didn't think there was much in that.
Surely not a kick downfield. But anyway, Michael Wilson, who kicked that long goal. I'd like to have that one back again. I think, Michael? Yeah. Can I please have that ball back?
That was just a tired leg, wasn't it? Long time since he's gone through this far of footy, and that was just a bit tired.
Howman, to do the kicking out, has been in tremendous form today, Brett Howman. Long kick, Matner at the back, thumped away by Harry, who'll find the boundary line.
Well, the ball didn't quite sit there for Matner. You could see him circling, couldn't you?
Yeah, he was ready for it. Boundary throw in. 51 points, the lead, 7-minute mark of this last term. Parry, who's done some manful work, knocked on by Ebert to Wilson, who gets it to Kingsley. Kingsley's kick one, off the left leg, just misses to the right-hand side.
Just not enough left-hand post taken then. He's pretty disappointed because he's a very good finisher, Adam Kingsley. And that would have been, like I said, they've got to win a quarter of football, and this is the one they have to win. No, make sure they do. Platt coming off, he's struggled with that ankle all day, hasn't he?
Paul Evans is a player who has replaced Platt.
Well, Paul Evans has struggled, period, today too, I suppose. It's been unfortunate to lose Platt in terms of the balance.
That's an interesting place for the footy to be.
A young lad working hard to get it back and receiving a round of applause for his efforts. Well done.
Let's get two footies going, see what happens.
Well, there's a couple of players for Sturt who've bought their own footies today. Isn't that what we were suggesting? Campbell just goes short. Maloney, the captain, premiership captain in one of his first attempts. Oh, and just touched on the line. His kick almost carried too far. Curtis managed to get a touch on it in front of the grandstand here. 8.5 minutes into the final quarter. Just the one behind scored so far. 50 points the margin. Parry couldn't hold out Bishop. Ebert still in possession. Off to Parry. Quick hands from Parry. Well done. O'Loughlin into the danger area, out from goal. Binky. Nice mark by Brian Binky.
Yeah, one of the few times he's got away from Howman today, and the kick was good. Just got it into that keyway so Binky could run onto it, so it was a good kick in the end.
Binky's first mark and kick since the first quarter.
See how maybe might be out of practice, you never know. Kicks through the ball nicely, finishes the job. Goal for Port Adelaide.
And that's exactly what I thought they needed to do. Just get some goals on the board here, win a quarter of football, get some respect back, and just continue, I suppose, this learning curve that this side has to do with one another. But even then, you know, he did exactly what I suppose Brenton Phillips has been asking his players to do. Just hang on to the footy, hold it, and if you can get it out, eventually get it to a teammate, and that's what he did. Created that goal.
Go,
James
Mark.
White's just come off the ground, and Lucas White straight over onto the outer wing.
A few changes there on the bench. Plapp coming off just a moment ago for Evans. So Plapp did that ankle in the first quarter, I think. So up goes Parry. That's a big leap. Ball hits the deck. Weatherall got it to Sheedy. Curtis, the old 1-2, Roberts-Thompson. Kick high ball. Fee gets in best position here. Gets an awkward bounce. Allows Feast to knock it away. In goes Kingsley. Just paddles to O'Loughlin. Over the top to Lucas White. He's just come on the ground. Welcome to the field of play, Lucas White. Locked up. We'll have another bound.
Test for the headgear, wasn't it?
Yeah, used the headgear well, but they're in a bit of trouble here, Porter. Parry's hurt himself and in that last centre bounce, and I think he's going to struggle to run this game out.
He didn't get up very high. In they go. Graham's there for Sturt. On hands and knees. Got it out to Cooper. Now Cooper can run. Not a good bounce. He's got a fumble going, but now he's got the footy. Lays it out in front of Grant Chambers on a long lead in front of Archie. He's got him queuing up at half forward. Jade Sheedy's there. Nelson was short. He just holds onto the footy. Well, he better kick it. Chambers loads it up. High ball. Long ball to the goal square. No one can take the mark. Kicked off the ground by Wilson. They fumble it. In goes Chambers again. Squire's there. They lock it up. Archie. Another bounce.
Held up a lot in the breeze, didn't it? He's kicking it right into the teeth of it, and he did have a couple of options earlier, but he gave him the old full forward look, which is the one right over the top of your head.
A lot of tired bodies out there. Cooper knocked up getting kicks, just bombs it up in front of goal. Big targets. Chambers almost took it. Right at his feet was Weatherall. Now Powell, opportunity for a goal. Sockers for a behind. So 1-1 for Matty Powell. Jack 80 medalist in the grand final last year.
They're hungry for more goals, aren't they, the Blues fans? Hear the roar of anticipation going up there.
Long kick out by Piker. Good kick. Feast. Oh, big leap. Steed. Can't quite get it. Taken away. In goes Chambers. Diving after the footy. Kicked off the ground. Comes out wide. Away comes Wilson. There's Smith about ready to come on. Wilson who kicked a long goal. Long kick. Marked by
Evans.
The man Evans. Just on a stretch there. Evans. Good kick by Wilson. Good long penetrating kick. And they have a bit of undisciplined work by, I think, maybe Nigel Fegan. He's going to cost Port Adelaide. The free kick's coming back to Simon Feast.
Well, that's one of the differences in today's play. That's a certain goal turned over.
Feast got Matner, who arches the back. Like to have the kick back, not a good one. In goes Piker, lays it off to Eilert, to Michael Wilson, who speeds away. The kick to Clayton on a long lead, knocked away by Maloney. The kick was a little bit too far for Clayton, to be fair. Steed just rolled onto the boot. Whiteman takes it out. Good play by Whiteman, just found the boundary when he needed it.
Again, good defensive work, good defensive play, intelligent.
Michael Wilson, top cricketer on the ground with 20.
I reckon Mark Williams would like both him and Kingsley off at this stage.
Harry just slapped it down over the boundary line again. Dare I say, Craig Perry, power performance today?
Look, he's been pretty good, hasn't he? I'm just ignoring that pun and going on with my commentary, but look, he's done pretty well. He's raw, but there's a lot to work with.
Well, he got his way to the front then, but Sturt advantaged by the numbers. They're working hard again. Sheedy, good eyes, good vision. Matner roaming free. Matner wanted a hand pass. Don't know if that was the best option. And Sheedy made it the best option. Matner now up in front of goals, looking for Chambers, comes hard. Powell at the front. Sturt with the numbers again. Powell bustles in over the ball, unable to get possession.
When you mentioned that Mark Williams might want Adam Kingsley off, well, he has come off and Matthew Smith has replaced him.
Well, obviously he's wired up to the AVC box, listening in.
I think he might be wired up to his brother. There's a free kick. Tim Weatherall just pulled down as he tried to go with the ball. Just have another glance. I think it was pretty much there.
That's inexperience again.
Yeah, it's hard to mistake it when the Guernsey's pulled out a foot from your back. That's what happened for young White.
Looked like he was going to catapult him. Big slingshot.
This will test Timmy Weatherall's distance too, I would have thought. He's got a kick, he's got 2 goals, and he's got to kick this one perhaps 40 metres to carry the pack.
Into a breeze, pretty strong one.
Getting pretty dark here at Unley too. So, Tim Weatherall, 40 metres, kicks it astray.
Yeah, distance was okay in the end, but you could see that he had to work particularly hard at it, which meant you try to get a little bit of extra distance in your kicking. You naturally just kick across your body, and that's what happened there for Tim Weatherall.
Just the one goal in this final term was kicked by Port Adelaide as Funk kicks long. The flyer is Smith. Couldn't take the mark.
That's
Drove by
centre.
Ebert.
That's good.
That's beautiful play by Ebert. On a long lead is Evans. That's a good kick too. Good work, good play by Port Adelaide to get it down. Only took 3 kicks and they were there.
Well, Funk's kick nearly didn't happen, didn't it? But here it is, front and centre. That's what you need. Haven't had a lot of that today. And Brett Ebert missed the first week of footy. Just came back last week. And he'll be better for the run.
Paul Evans with just the one behind to his tally today. Kicks for a goal from 40 metres out. As he worked it through, we'll just wait and see. He likes it. The teammates like it. It's a goal to Paul Evans. So the only 2 goals kicked in the last term are both by Port Adelaide. A lot of work to do still, though, Tim. They're not going to make it.
Got to win a quarter of football, but this is the way you do it. Just keep doing this sort of behaviour. Good basic footy, front and centre stuff, Brett Ebert. Good mark in the end, one-handed by Evans, and finished off. I was a bit worried he just tried to steer this one, but in the end, a good goal.
Tim, you not only called the Adam Kingsley move, you've also called the Michael Wilson one. He's come off for his brother.
Great knockdown for Bishop. Found Roberts-Thompson. Gone quiet a bit, Roberts-Thompson, but he's had plenty of players to pick up the slack for Sturt. High ball, Weatherall under it. Well taken by Tim Weatherall.
Yeah, he'd have to be in the top 3 today. Timmy Weatherall, him, Cooper, Roberts-Thompson, Howman.
Checks to see all the body parts are there and lobs it up in front of goal. Archie comes to meet it. Umpire calls play on. Quick hands in close. White misses. Just a quick score from the other grounds. West Adelaide by 21 points over the Eagles. And get this, Glenelg by 48 over South Adelaide.
That's a good win. Well, I'll probably get up from there, and that'll make you, coach David Noble, pretty happy.
You'd have to be happy with that. Getting very dark at Unley. The black clouds, they hover around. I don't know that we'll get too much rain before the end of the game, but Stephen White, 2 goals, 4 for the afternoon. He's been a target up there. Hasn't quite had the kicking boots on as the football comes back into play. Yeah, might have to put the generator on the bike for the ride home, I think. It's going to be dark. 29 shots to 18 for the afternoon as Funk, who's proved he can really hoof a footy. Long ball, no one's touched it yet. Steed, Roberts-Thompson, who's had plenty of it, just probably dropped off in the last quarter, taken off a step by Parry, goes to Miller. Oh, he's a slippery customer, Miller, just paddles the ball in front, played for the free kick and got it. Well, he's a bit of an excitement machine, this fellow.
Yeah, showtime. They've played a few of these things today. Look, he did well, and that was a free kick.
The jumper tug. Anyway, he's going to kick from about 55 metres out. Sits it up. That's a high ball. They fly. Great mark, Bishop, just getting back. Good, strong body. Good presence back there.
Well, it was good blocking as well. They just kept Evans out of the contest. It made it easy for Bishop.
The kick, looking for Maloney. Well played, Clayton. Just knocks it to the boundary. 18 minutes gone. 104 plays 63. So
that's just when you know your teammates, and if they'd played together for a long time, you probably would have said Miller won't make the distance, so we'll get more numbers down there. Yeah. They just left Evans in the square on his own. Too easy to just screen him out of it.
All down again. Umpire will come and separate them. 2 number 34s in ruck. Harry for Port Adelaide. Bishop, who's toned down the red hair from last season. I'm told he's got the bottle out.
It's pretty spiky.
Parry did well. Knocked the ball down to Clayton. Clayton, though, weight of numbers again was Sturt. Sheedy, gee, if that stayed in, they had 3 on none there.
Yeah, the numbers of the ball have been excellent, and they've been great in defence and around the ground. Good basic footy. And a side that definitely knows one another.
Parry, his hand was taken from him, and that'll be out in the full.
Port have got to keep working at it here. You know, get another 2 or 3 goals, and just it helps with confidence as a team too. That, you know, oh, we're getting it there, we're getting close.
McDowell, oh, great snap.
Doesn't
Is
he
it?
know where the goals are?
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Did not look at all. And he's had a couple of snaps this afternoon, a couple of set shots. He's also had some work on that nose, or that head at least. Looks like some of the iodine solution there.
Campbell finds Nelson, so they work it to the outer side again. Nelson's kick, just to a contest. White, not quite there, taken by Roberts-Thompson, who's been pretty clean with the footy today. He's had a bounce. He wants to kick it inside 50. Chambers on a long lead, can't quite take the mark. Well played, Archie. Ball hits the deck, taken by Cooper. Cooper with the right boot. Not a good kick, up and under. They fly, it was even for the Magpies. It's out the back to Wilson. Oh, loose handball. Oh, Feast, got it to Powell. Powell's kick one. Left footer, Matthew Powell just misses to the near side.
Yeah, good pressure by Eilert just to put him off. Well, it's going to be a difficult shot for Powell anyway. Just enough pressure to make sure that it went through for behind. But they're sticking at their game. Sturt and Port Adelaide having to work for everything.
Long kick in. Parry was the target. Lachlan at the front, always in trouble. Got a hand pass out. Parry's vision was good. Out in the path of Lyle. Look out, Steed with the shepherd. Here comes Clayton, off to Lyle. Still looking for somebody. Goes back to Steed. He's good on both sides, not that time. Kick smothered. Now Curtis just holds on to the ball, eventually sleight of hand, and umpire said too high. Sturt with the advantage. Now it's Whiteman, he's in trouble. Whiteman taking the ground. They're working hard at the back. McDowell with the tackle. Yeah, he could easily have gone into the back of Howman then.
Which they were doing in the first and second terms quite regularly, so that was a much better tackle. Twisted him around, took him to ground. Howman been a great player though for Sturt today.
He has, he's really stepped up. Holding down the key defensive post at centre-half back. Sturt now with the numbers again. Working the hands. Well, Sheedy was trying to, and he just couldn't get anything out of there. Smith coming up with the ball for Port Adelaide.
A couple more goals for Port Adelaide would let them go away with a lot more confidence than the way the scoreboard certainly was at three-quarter time.
Might hear that breeze in the microphones around the place. Blowing fairly hard. Sturt worked with numbers again. In a bit of space is Squire. Squire shepherded well by Nelson off the camera. And now he's at half forward. Drives it up. Plenty of opportunities up there for Chambers today. Chambers still tracking the ball. He wants somebody. He gets somebody. It's Nelson who follows up. Nelson now decides to load it up. His kick was pretty good. Feast. Oh, he's too busy worrying about jumping up instead of just taking the ball. And in the end, a rush behind. And umpire says a rush behind and a free kick for too high. No, it won't be a rush behind. It'll be too high. And Port Adelaide will clear from defence.
Long kick out to the outer side. Stephen White just giving Piker just a little love tap just around the neck. Paid the price, taken by Steed. Steed's kicking, looking for parry, chopped off by Maloney. Gee, this bloke's a grand defender. His judgment is so terrific. To Squire, who's got Cooper. Now Cooper, 35 metres in closing, drills it! Tone! Goal number 4 to Matty Cooper, who's had a day out along with a few of his teammates.
He certainly has. Great play by the skipper here to chop this ball off. Calm as you like. Squizzy Taylor. Beautiful. Over to Cooper, who just really drilled it home. And 4 goals, 2 for him. That's a day out. With plenty of hard possessions as well.
16 kicks and 8 handballs.
Good afternoon for Matty Cooper. Good afternoon if you're a West Adelaide fan. Sean Wren guiding the club to its 2nd win of the season by 31 points over the Eagles down there at Woodville. So a good victory for the Bloods. And Ebert with a huge kick out of the centre. And almost a mark. Umpires paid either a mark or a free kick. In fact, I think he's... well, I thought he paid a mark. But anyway, regardless, Evans will go back and have a shot on goal.
It's good centre clearance, as you said, Neil. Brett Ebert grabbing hold of it. Off not too many steps, really drilled it long. And lining up is Paul Evans for his 2nd, if he can get it.
A long way out, but plenty of breeze just spraying up right then. And he's happy with it. Umpire did some work, but gave the all clear.
And that's important too, because the momentum and the crowd certainly getting behind it. Sturt here at Unley, as you'd expect, with that last goal from Matty Cooper, and to get a good centre clearance and a quick answer It's just, again, just gives them a little bit of confidence. There was certainly enough of that ball in Paul Evans' hands to pay the mark, and then free kick afterwards. So, on the money, the umpires.
Good kick by Evans. He's kicked a couple in this last term. It's back to 41 points the difference. We've had a bit of trouble this afternoon getting that football back. 2-1 there to Paul Evans, who's, I suppose, been a lack of delivery down there in the forward line. You really would like to be a Port Adelaide forward there today. Benke's been fixed up by Howman, but that's just good play by Howman.
He's certainly been a really good defender, the pick of them.
The two number 34s, Parry and Bishop. Bishop's second effort was good. Parry off the ground. Maloney. Miller's in there. Oh, stolen by Maloney. Just having a picnic out there. High ball. I'll leave it for you, and you take the mark, or somebody take it. Islet's in there. Got a lack of talk there. There she goes.
Just spilt free, didn't it?
Yeah. Nigel Feegert probably trying to do the right thing by keeping Feast out.
He certainly did, to keep your nail at the
Feast to Cooper. Powell with the handball, goes back to himself, then goes Steed, pretty tough. Wilson, that's James, Michael Wilson on the bench. Loose handball out, Clayton, just dishes off to Steed. Steed loads up a good-looking kick he dealt with after he's kicked the footy. The umpire calls advantage and Miller kicks the goal, but it's got to come back, and a free kick downfield will go to Evans after Alfie Steed was dealt with. Xavier Campbell says nothing happening there. Who was it? Jay Cheedy.
Yeah, just dived at him and had to commit himself, I suppose, which gave the free kick away. So Paul Evans a chance for his third.
Yeah. Kicked a goal at the 15-minute mark. In the 24-minute mark, we just ticked into 26 and a half. So Paul Evans in line up for number 3. It'll be a good finish for the Magpies. They'll have outscored. They haven't won a quarter, as Neil said earlier. They haven't won a quarter all year. Could very well win this last one at Unley. Kick by Evans. Goal umpire does a bit to the left. I think he just sort of dragged it across, one behind.
Well, he'd be disappointed with that. That certainly should have been his third goal. And again, like I said, just giving them some confidence to go away with. But they've been soundly beaten by the reigning premiers. And Sturt start the season with 2 wins, which I'll be very happy with down here at Unley.
Xavier Campbell just displaying his skills for the crowd.
And
both sides of the body. Oh, yes, spot on. Matner, he's a left footer, and he'll go with that leg. Drives long. Howman. Feast was the hands that came off. Back behind play. The crowd saw something. Now Feast just rolls over. Disguised it as best he could, but I don't think there was any doubt that Simon Feast knew the line was there and was prepared, as we'll see this time, to take it over. Oh, yes. Oh, just the line there, sir. Wilson working hard in the middle of the pack. Umpire will take possession. So, very dark here at Unley. Isn't really reflected by the cameras. Lachlan fighting hard, but in the end, Roberts Thompson comes away, just shrugs the tackle. If he can get it across into the midfield, he's got to play it loose.
He was determined to get it there.
He was, wasn't he? So that might have been Graham, I think, who got the ball. Down and a half forward is Chambers. Chambers now turns like the Queen Mary and somehow gets a shot on goal. And it was the worst kick you're ever likely to see. There's a helicopter still flying, I think, somewhere around Unley. And a goal that just completes a great day for the Double Blues.
Neil, I thought you were very rude to him, turning like the Queen Mary. I thought that was pretty good for the big man at full forward, and I tell you what, he put a spin on the ball that I've not seen before. And it sort of went sideways, end on end, around the corner for his third. Absolute beauty. Without a miss today.
3 straight to Mr. Chambers. He'd be happy with that. Wasn't happy with the umpires earlier. Be happy with the result. Back in the centre. Ball knocked down. Graham got it back. Oh, handball chopped off. Here they go. Long kick by Miller is a good-looking kick. He likes it. And Harry Miller gets goal number 2 for the afternoon. Quick reply by the Magpies. And some good work downfield there. And Miller just finishing it off with a terrific kick.
Well, Parry, again, he's been good in the air, hasn't he, in the centre bounces. He's tall enough to get over the top. He can start working on some centre clearances with the way he does work. But Miller's a live wire, you're right. And pretty exciting all day, and very happy when he gets himself a goal.
Ball returning to the centre, not much time to go. 29.5 minutes in the final quarter. Sturt by 40 points. 17-15 plays 11-11. Just waiting for the centre bounce. Down in the middle. Bishop just getting the ball forward as best he can. Wilson comes across, drives it wide. Curtis in the race for the ball, picks it up first. And eventually he wants to get the boundary line. He can't quite see it. He can't quite get it there. It's down towards half forward again. Miller, he's done well. Miller then centres up the ball looking for Lyle. He's hit with everything, manages to hold his feet. The hand pass too severe. No, goal, I think. In the end, a goal to Evans. So Port creep a little closer. And next week, don't forget, we'll be out at Elizabeth for the Centrals match against Westies. We've run out of time here this afternoon. Sturt 17-15, 117. Port 12-11, 85. Trans-Tasman test in bowls.